Chapter 21. 21 Chapter 21. Innate Talent and Rewards. 21 Chapter 21. Innate Talent and Rewards. The second assessment is the Innate Talent Test. When Lu Yun and the others stood in line again, Meng Hongfei's loud voice, mixed with true qi, echoed throughout the whole square. Innate Talent Test. Lu Yun was immediately interested, as he was curious about the things that could test innate talent. On the way to Cloudwater County, when Lu Songxing talked about innate talent, he mentioned that a person's innate talent could only be known by someone with a special treasure or a high enough martial arts realm. Now, he was finally able to witness the treasure that could test innate talent. At the same time, he also wanted to know where his 5-star innate talent stood among the more than 1,000 boys and girls participating in the Martial Academy's assessment. Since my martial arts realm is not high enough to detect your innate talents, this assessment will be carried out by the Innate Talent Stone, said Meng Hongfei. As he finished speaking, Meng Hongfei waved his sleeve, and a round stone suddenly appeared on the table with a flash of light. B0XO. Calling it a stone was rather inaccurate. It was more like a special kind of jade, about the size of a human head, semi-transparent, and white in color. Innate talent determines a martial artist's potential and cultivation speed. Therefore, the higher the innate talent, the greater the probability of becoming a disciple of the Martial Academy. Conversely, the lower the innate talent, the lower the martial arts potential. If the innate talent stone shows that you have less than 2 stars or no innate talent, you will be eliminated directly. If you test as having an innate talent of 5 stars or higher, not only can you directly become a disciple of the Martial Academy, but you will also receive extraordinary rewards after joining the sect. Meng Hongfei faintly smiled, without any traces of the coldness from before when he executed a transforming origin realm martial artist with a single stroke. Let me reveal some rewards. The higher the innate talent, the more generous rewards will be. 5-star innate talent will be awarded 3 body tempering pills and 1 meridian pill. Upon hearing this, many of the young martial artists on the square immediately became excited, their eyes filled with longing. Body tempering pills are the main resources used by martial artists during the intermartial realm, which can temper the body and greatly unlock the potential of martial artists. Only by tempering the body to its limit during the intermartial realm can a martial artist open more meridians after reaching the Meridian Passage realm. Meridian pills are the main resources used by martial artists during the Meridian Passage realm, which can speed up the process of opening meridians and increase the efficiency, making them extremely precious. Most of them were like Lu Yun, hailing from various villages and towns in Cloudwater County, and their daily practice relied solely on their own sweat without the ability to purchase pills or heavenly treasures for cultivation. Now, as long as they tested having a 5-star innate talent, they could obtain the cultivation resources they had been dreaming of. It was no wonder they were shocked and yearning. 3 body tempering pills and 1 meridian pill. Lu Yun's eyes sparkled, and he couldn't help but clench his fists. Unlike the others, Lu Yun had the attribute panel and already knew that he had a 5-star innate talent. Thus, the rewards for a 5-star innate talent were already within his grasp. Just as the young men were rubbing their fists in excitement, imagining themselves making a name for themselves and testing a 5-star innate talent, Meng Hongfei's voice mixed with true qi sounded once more, suppressing all their murmurs and heartbeats. 6-star innate talent can receive 5 body tempering pills and 3 meridian pills. 7-star innate talent. At this point, Meng Hongfei shook his head slightly. I don't think there will be 7-star or higher innate talents among you. All right, line up and come forward one by one to test. Xiao Chun was at the very front of the line, so he was the first to go forward for the test. When his palm touched the stone, it immediately emitted a green light, which gradually changed over time until it turned deep green. Xiao Chun, top of 5-star innate talent. Gasp! Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Most of them didn't know what it meant to have the top of a 5-star innate talent, but the rewards that Meng Hongfei had mentioned earlier were enough to explain everything. Xiao Chen's face remained unchanged as his innate talent was revealed as the top of 5-star. Top of 5-star innate talent. Not bad. Not bad. Meng Hongfei was in a good mood, knowing that having a 5-star talent in the area under his supervision would earn him some considerable contribution points after returning to the sect. If Xiao Chun is top of 5-star innate talent, then my innate talent must not be weak. I must have a 5-star innate talent. The 16 young men who had come out of the Soaring Dragon restaurant were all full of confidence as they stepped forward one by one. As they were also from Soaring Dragon restaurant, known as the most powerful group of heavenly pride in Cloudwater County, they were the focus of everyone's expectation. Hijijia, top of 3-star innate talent. How is this possible? Why am I just top of 3-star innate talent? I am one of the most outstanding geniuses in Cloudwater County. Hijijia seemed to be speaking incoherently, his eyes losing their luster. Mu Qingyun, ordinary 3-star innate talent. A young man in blue clothes stared disbelievingly at the red light emitted from the innate talent stone. This scene was also seen by Lu Yun and the others. Lu Yun recognized him. He was Mu Qingyun, the one who had a verbal conflict with them in front of the inn. It turns out to be him, but his talent isn't anything special. Lu Liangpeng sneered disdainfully. As for Lu Liangpeng's disdain, Lu Qianhu was somewhat skeptical, secretly thinking, even Mu Qingyun is just a 3-star innate talent. Wouldn't our talents be even lower? Chun Tianqi, top of 4-star innate talent. Xian Pengyun, level 4 ordinary innate talent. Lin Zeyuan, level 3 top-notch innate talent. It didn't take long for the teenagers who came out of the Soaring Dragon restaurant to complete their innate talent tests. They were all Cloudwater County's geniuses, and their innate talents were not lower than level 3. However, there was no level 5 innate talent among them. With this contrast in mind, everyone finally realized how extraordinary Xiao Chen's level 5 top-notch innate talent was. At the same time, it also made most people reevaluate themselves. Aside from praising Xiao Chun when his level 5 innate talent was revealed, Meng Hongfei remained expressionless, seemingly already expecting the results of everyone's innate talent tests. These young people didn't know how rare level 5 innate talents were, but Meng Hongfei, as a Martial Academy disciple, was well aware. Level 4 innate talents were considered good in the Martial Academy, while top-notch ones were barely excellent. Level 5 innate talents could be called geniuses, and the level 5 top-notch innate talent was among the most top-notch level of all Martial Academy recruits. Even rarer were level 6 innate talents, of which the entire Martial Academy had only a few. Next, after the 10-plus genius teenagers finished their tests, other teenagers began to come forward for testing. Yang Kai, level 2 ordinary innate talent. Zhang Fada, 1-star innate talent, eliminated. Wang Liang, level 2 top-notch innate talent. Su Wenfei, level 2 ordinary innate talent. Li Feng, no innate talent, eliminated. Zhou Xingxing, 1-star top-notch innate talent, eliminated. As expected, these young people did not have very good innate talents. In addition to a small number of people with level 3 innate talents, most people had level 1 and level 2 innate talents. Even worse, some people had no innate talent at all. These people, even if they tried their hardest throughout their lives, would only reach a certain degree of physical refinement to barely become an enter-martial realm martial artist. Their lifetime limits, being confined to the enter-martial realm, was practically no different from cutting off their path in martial arts. Having come with great expectations, they were not only unable to enter the martial academy, but also had their dreams of martial arts completely shattered. This was undoubtedly a huge blow. After the people in front had finished their tests, Lu Liangpeng walked forward, both hopeful and nervous. As expected, the innate talent stone changed color, emitting a faint yellow glow. Lu Liangpeng, Level 2 Ordinary Innate Talent. Although Level 2 Ordinary Innate Talent was considered very poor compared to the geniuses, for most people, it was something they could only hope for but not achieve. Lu Liangpeng knew that he was part of the ordinary group of people, and when he learned that he had Level 2 Innate Talent, his face was filled with a happy smile. One step closer to the martial academy, he clenched his fist, then turned to Lu Tianhu and Lu Yun behind him, and said, "Keep it up, I'm waiting for you too. I can do it too." Lu Tianhu encouraged himself in his heart and walked forward. Like Lu Liangpeng, the innate talent stone emitted a faint yellow glow when he placed his hand on it. The intensity was slightly deeper than Lu Liangpeng's, proving that he was still within the range of Level 2 Ordinary Innate Talent. Hee. Lu Tianhu looked like a happy child, making a fist in Lu Yun's direction to encourage him. Seeing this, Lu Yun was also happy for them. With Level 2 Innate Talent, even if they ultimately couldn't enter the martial academy, their future achievements would definitely surpass the old village heads, thus raising Spirit Creek Village's overall strength. Having been born and raised in Spirit Creek Village, Lu Yun naturally hoped for the village to become better and better. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, Lu Yun calmly walked to the innate talent stone, gently placed his right hand on it, and a faint green light emerged. The green light wasn't as brilliant as Xiao Chen's, but compared to the others, it was extremely eye-catching. Lu Yun, Level 5 Ordinary Innate Talent. Meng Hongfei's face beamed with another smile as he looked deeply at Lu Yun and nodded secretly. This person actually has Level 5 Innate Talent. After Lu Yun stepped away from the innate talent stone, the others finally recovered from their shock, their faces filled with disbelief. No matter how hard they tried, they would never have imagined that the second Level 5 Innate Talent would be a young man from a small mountain village. It was almost incredible to think that a young man from a mountain village almost crushed all the young geniuses who had entered the Soaring Dragon restaurant, claiming to be the most outstanding in Cloudwater County. Underfoot. Chapter 22. Chapter 22. Chapter 22. The End. Separate Paths. Chapter 22. Chapter 22. The End. Separate Paths. Wow, Lu Yun, you're amazing. Lu Liangpeng and Lu Tianhu gathered around him at the same time, their faces excited. If the old village head knew you had a Level 5 Innate Talent, they would be extremely satisfied. The children of the mountain village were the most simple and honest. They did not harbor an ounce of jealousy towards Lu Yun, but instead genuinely felt happy for his natural talent. You guys aren't bad either, both having Level 2 Innate Talent. There's a chance you both could become disciples of the Martial Academy. Yeah, the three of us will enter the Martial Academy together and bring glory to Spirit Creek Village. B0XO. Calm with a faint smile, Lu Yun walked away nonchalantly, but his mind was filled with thoughts. Before the medicine bath, his innate talent was Level 4. After the 2 medicine baths, his innate talent had changed to Level 5. So, did Lu Tianhu and Lu Liangpeng have a 1-star innate talent before the medicine bath? Or was the increase in innate talent due to the panel he had? Looking at the receding figures of Lu Yun's group from a distance, Mu Qingjian's face was extremely ugly. First, the matter with innate talent left him feeling upset. Then he found out that the poor country boy he looked down upon actually had a Level 5 innate talent, far surpassing his Level 3 innate talent. The huge contrast was difficult for him to accept as a self-proclaimed genius. Gradually, he felt a growing sense of jealousy and unwillingness in his heart for Lu Yun's displayed talent. Some were jealous and unwilling, some were envious, and some treated it calmly. It varied from person to person. Lu Yun didn't mind the gazes of those around him, as he and Lu Tianhu went to a relatively quiet corner to await the next test. Actually, with his level 5 innate talent, he didn't need to participate in the next test. He could directly become a disciple of the Martial Academy. But he wanted to see what it was like. As for whether he would participate in the end, that depended on the situation. Time passed quickly, and the sun gradually shifted from the center of the sky. The innate talent test for over 1,000 people had ended. Without exception, there were only 2 level 5 innate talents in the entire field: peak level 5 innate talent Xiao Chun and ordinary level 5 innate talent Lu Yun. Additionally, there were 13 level 4 innate talents, 52 level 3 innate talents, and 327 level 2 innate talents. This meant that after the innate talent test, fewer than 400 people remained. Moreover, this was only the second test. How many people would be eliminated, and how many lucky ones would remain after the unknown third test? As the innate talent test concluded, the teenagers with only 1-star innate talent or without any innate talent were expelled from the field, and the lively central square became much quieter. Very well, you guys have once again stayed, and are one step closer to becoming my junior brothers. Meng Hongfei's eyes swept over the people in front of him and said lightly, "The final examination is about to begin. Line up quickly and orderly." Soon, everyone quieted down and stood in neat square formations at the fastest speed. "Bring up the measuring strength pillar." With Meng Hongfei's words, 16 heavily armored soldiers carried a huge stone pillar over. When they put it on the ground, the green stone on the ground crumbled instantly. The entire pillar was black, about 5 meters tall, and with a diameter of about 1 meter. On the front, at waist height, there were faint traces resembling fist imprints and marks from sword techniques. There was a transparent line about the width of a middle finger on the right side of the pillar, extending from the base to the top, with a scale marked next to it. The scale ranged from 1 to 100. This is the measuring strength pillar, specifically designed to test one's strength. Meng Hongfei pointed at the strange-looking black stone pillar and said, "Most of you are in the enter-martial realm, the stage specifically designed to temper your body, improve your blood and strength, and increase your explosive power. The final assessment will be based on the standard of your Bodis explosive power. There are 100 scales on the measuring strength pillar, each representing 10 Jin, 1 Chinese pound of explosive power. You will be responsible for using your full strength to attack the measuring strength pillar. Each person gets 3 tries. If you don't reach 50 scales after 3 attempts, you'll be eliminated." The test begins. With Meng Hongfei's words, the teenagers began to rub their hands in anticipation, especially those who had stayed at the Soaring Dragon restaurant like Mu Qinyan. These people were all at the late stage and peak of the enter-martial realm. For them, this final strength examination was just a formality, but they wouldn't be satisfied with just going through the motions. "Excuse me, senior brother, can we use sword techniques?" Mu Qinyan, who wanted to regain his dignity and unwillingness from before, asked tentatively. "You can use any martial arts, including sword techniques and fist techniques." Meng Hongfei responded. After getting an accurate response, everyone revealed the weapons they carried on their person. There were all sorts of weapons, such as knives, spears, halberds, hammers, and axes, every type imaginable. Xiao Chun simply took a glance at the measuring strength pillar and stepped out of the queue, not intending to participate in the test. He possessed a 5-star innate talent and was the only one at the Meridian Passage realm, and it wouldn't matter whether he participated or not. Meng Hongfei just nodded slightly without saying anything. Sword light flickered. Mu Qingyun suddenly drew his sword, using his full strength to strike the measuring strength pillar. With a pang sound, Lu Yun and the others clearly saw a red glow rising from the base of the pillar, extending along a transparent line the width of a finger, eventually stopping at the 81 mark. 81 on the scale. So strong, his explosive attack power has reached 81 on the scale. Someone exclaimed aloud. Feeling the shocked gaze of the crowd, Mu Qingyun enjoyed it immensely. As if he suddenly thought of something, he glanced in Lu Yun's direction. Unfortunately, the result disappointed him. He couldn't find any sign of shock or other unusual expressions on Lu Yun's face. Humph, pretending to be calm. Mu Qingyun snorted in his heart. As long as one reached 50 on the scale, it would be considered a pass. His explosive power reached 81, a full 31 points higher than the passing line. Such results were unattainable for ordinary people. In his view, Lu Yun was merely at the middle stage of the intermartial realm and came from a backward, remote mountain village. He probably had the worst martial arts background. How could such a person ignore him? The more he thought about it, the more intense his jealousy towards Lu Yun became, causing him to overlook one crucial point. Lu Yun had less than a tenth of his cultivation time and possessed one of the only 2 5-star innate talents. Lu Yun was originally watching the tests of the others. Suddenly, he felt something unusual, as if being stared at by a venomous snake, making him somewhat uncomfortable. After noticing this, he quickly glanced around. When his gaze fell on the figure to his right, he suddenly stopped as he saw a very familiar figure. Silver-white robe, a calm and collected expression, sharp eyes. Xiao Chun. He had the best innate talent and the highest cultivation. Among all the candidates, he was undoubtedly the most dazzling existence. But at this moment, he nodded slightly towards Lu Yun. Lu Yun was a little confused, nodded back to acknowledge the gesture, and then looked away. Huh. Lu Yun furrowed his brow slightly. That uncomfortable feeling is still there. Could it not be Xiao Chun? Immediately after, he scanned the surroundings once more and met a pair of eyes. It's him. When Lu Yun saw Mu Qingyun's cold gaze, he instantly knew where that uncomfortable feeling had come from. This kid seemed a bit off. Through Mu Qingyun's eyes, Lu Yun could sense that there was considerable ill will towards him. We only met once. Surely he doesn't bear ill will towards me. Lu Yun thought sarcastically, or maybe I have that legendary jinxed constitution. After ridiculing himself, he retracted his gaze and also made a mental note of Mu Qingyun. Incredible! It's 83 on the scale. That one isn't bad either, hitting 89 on the scale. About half of the participants had completed the test by now. Among them, Mu Qingyun had performed the best so far, with 81 on the scale. As more candidates reached higher points, they immediately received attention. 91 on the scale. As the test went on, someone finally broke the 90-point barrier. Lu Yun glanced at the teenager and knew he was one of the earlier people who entered the Soaring Dragon restaurant. Next, Lu Tianhu and Lu Liangpeng tested one by one. They each used all 3 chances, but still couldn't reach 50 on the scale. They returned disheartened. Regarding this, Lu Yun didn't know how to console them, so he chose to remain silent. Sometimes the best consolation for a disheartened person is to do nothing. Emerging from disappointment is often more effective and quicker for growth than any consolation. I've decided, since one can't become a Martial Academy disciple, I'll join the army and start from the bottom as a soldier. In the square, Lu Langping raised his head, looking at the slowly setting sun with a renewed sense of vigor. Seeing Lu Liangpeng's face beaming with pride once again, Lu Tianhu smiled faintly, also firming up his resolve in his heart. The 3 teenagers from Spirit Creek Village embraced the warm setting sun, each with their own thoughts. Their shadows cast long lines on the plaza. Chapter 23, Chapter 23. Chapter 23, Black Boat. Chapter 23, Chapter 23. Black Boat. As for his explosive power, he had a vague sense in his heart that it was around 800 caddies. At the mid-stage of Enter Martial Realm, having such explosive power could already be considered excellent. However, this was compared to the young martial artists who participated in the examination in Cloudwater County. Some time later, the test officially ended. In the end, Lu Yun chose not to participate in the test. He had already gained enough experience previously and did not want to continue to stand out. B0XO. Of course, it was not without the reason that the final test had no rewards at all. The end of the strength test signified the end of the examination. At the beginning, there were more than 1,300 martial artists participating in the test. In the end, only 105 people persisted until the end. Among these 105 people, there were 2 with level 5 innate talent, 13 with level 4 innate talent, 50 with level 3 innate talent, and 40 with level 2 innate talent. Out of them, only 26 were not formal martial artists. However, they were all just one step away from entering the martial realm, just lacking an opportunity to break through. Everyone, you are all very fortunate to have passed the final examination and become members of the Martial Academy. Meng Hongfei glanced at everyone. In 3 days, gather here again and accompany me to the Martial Academy. 3 days later, everyone was surprised. Every time new disciples are examined by the Martial Academy, they will send the Black Boat one by one to each county to pick up new disciples. Cloudwater County is the last stop, so we have to wait for 3 days. After Meng Hongfei explained, he added, no matter what happens, do not be absent. Otherwise, it will be considered as giving up becoming a disciple of the Martial Academy. All right, everyone may leave now. Meng Hongfei waved his sleeves and walked towards Lin Chen and Jiang Hongji. How was it? Were there any good candidates? Lin Chen seemed to get along well with Jiang Hongji, as he asked cheerfully after seeing Meng Hongfei. Not bad. There were 2 with level 5 innate talent. They can obtain a good amount of contribution points after returning. Oh, well, that's double happiness. After making some casual pleasantries, Lin Chen, Meng Hongfei, and Jiang Hongji left the central square. Old village head, we are sorry that we didn't pass the examination. We have disappointed you. Lu Tianhu and Lu Liangpeng hung their heads, not daring to look into Lu Kangsheng's wise eyes. Lu Songxing shook his head slightly, a loving smile appearing on his face. Children, success or failure is not important. What's important is whether you have worked hard and tried your best. For Spirit Creek Village to produce a Martial Academy disciple was already a great honor, let alone that Lu Yun was a level 5 innate talent, which could be considered as a top-level genius even within the Martial Academy. After some polite conversation, Lu Tsong proposed, let's go back and prepare a feast to celebrate Lu Yun's success. Lu Tsongxing naturally agreed to the proposal. It is indeed worth celebrating. When the old village head spoke up, everyone found a restaurant and ordered a table of delicacies. During the feast, Lu Langping shared his desire to join the army, receiving everyone's approval. Young people need to dare to think and dare to venture. Only in this way can they not waste their youth. When asked about Lu Tianhu, he said earnestly, one have always had a dream that the people of Spirit Creek Village will be free from disasters and difficulties. So, one want to go back and join the hunting team to contribute to the village's defense. Upon hearing Lu Tianhu's words, everyone fell silent. especially when Lu Langping thought about his previous prejudices against Lu Tianhu. He suddenly felt ashamed. Time flew by quickly. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. At the central square of Cloudwater County, many black-armored guards were present, preventing anyone from approaching the square. Lu Yun, even if you enter the martial academy, one will not give up chasing after your footsteps. Lu Liangpeng's eyes sparkled as he said solemnly. Lu Yun nodded with a smile. All right, one wish you great progress in martial arts. He then looked at Lu Tianhu and laughed. I also wish you great progress in martial arts. Lu Tianhu waved his hand and said slowly, take good care of yourself. Lu Yun, after entering the martial academy, remember your initial identity. You are from Spirit Creek Village. No matter how much you grow in the future, don't forget your roots are in Spirit Creek Village. At their farewell, Lu Tsangxing spoke with deep meaning. Village head, rest assured. Lu Yun responded, resolutely turned around, and walked towards the square. At this moment, more than 100 spirited young boys and girls gathered in the square. Humph, just because you have a little talent, you made all of us wait for you together? A cold and mocking voice came. Whoosh! Lu Yun's eyes shot out 2 glimmers of light, looking towards the person who spoke, and found that it was the impressive Mu Qingyun. Why impressive? Because compared to the other people's faces, Mu Qingyun was one of the only 2 people that Lu Yun remembered by name and appearance. As for the other one, it was the swordsmanship genius, Xiao Chun. At this moment, Xiao Chun had an expressionless face and stood with his hands behind him. There were no people around him, and his eyes calmly looked at the distant sky, seemingly uninterested in anything else. A jumping clown! Lu Yun snorted coldly, ignored the other party, and walked towards an empty corner. You... Hearing Lu Yun's mockery, Mu Qingyun's eyes were filled with anger and fire. Lu Yun, don't be arrogant. Innate talent doesn't represent real strength. Now, one could defeat you with just one move. Mu Qingyun said angrily and loudly he hated Lu Yun's behavior of not putting him in his eyes. For the always proud him, this was undoubtedly a trampling on his dignity and a grave insult. Whoosh! As Mu Qingyun's words fell, everyone else looked on with a spectating expression. Many people were extremely curious about Lu Yun, the second genius of Cloudwater County. After all, they were idle at the moment, and it would be great if they could witness his strength. However, they were disappointed. Lu Yun simply ignored them and, like Xiao Chun, stared into the distant horizon. Rumbling. At this moment, a shadow suddenly appeared in the far sky and quickly enlarged. Soon the whole sky suddenly darkened, and an enormous, spectacular ship broke through the clouds and hovered several meters above the ground, covering the sun. How magnificent! Lu Yun's heart trembled. It was his first time seeing such a huge flying ship, and its scale and grandeur were not much different from the aircraft carriers of Blue Star in his previous life. I've heard that not only does this black boat have a large carrying capacity and incredibly fast speed, but it's also a strategic resource. Ordinary people and families are not allowed to manufacture and use it. One of the young men seemed quite knowledgeable about it and looked envious. If I could have a black boat like this, wouldn't I be free to soar in the vast world? Lu Yun thought to himself. However, he only thought about it. If he really had such a black boat, what he would do first is exchange it for various heavenly treasures and spiritual pills, and then convert them into energy points. Brother Lin, sorry for keeping you waiting. Aboard the black boat, Gu Qingfeng in a green robe stood at the bow, looking down and speaking to Lin Chun and the others behind Lu Yun with a thunderous voice echoing all around. Around him stood a dozen young men, each with their unique demeanor and temperament. Behind the black boat, there were over 1,000 young boys and girls who were now grouped into more than a dozen large groups, and each large group was further divided into smaller groups. "Ha, Brother Gu, you look great. It seems that you have gained a lot from this trip." A hearty voice sounded, followed by Lin Chen and Meng Hongfei's figures sweeping through the air and landing on the black boat. "Brother Lin, you're joking. I just happened to encounter only 2 level 5 ordinary innate talents, not comparable to Yun Bufan, who found 3 level 5 innate talents in Flowing Wind County, one of which was even a level 5 top-notch innate talent." Although Gu Qingfeng spoke like this, the smile on his face did not diminish. Recruiting 1 level 5 innate talent was considered a great harvest for him, let alone recruiting 2. "Brother Yun has good luck, and we must treat everyone when we return to Martial Academy." Lin Chen looked at a young man in a blue robe. This person was Yun Bufan, a genius who, like Lin Chen, entered the Star Palace. "Definitely, definitely." Yun Bufan agreed generously. After that, Lin Chen greeted others one by one. On the other hand, Meng Hongfei always had a cold face, not fitting in with the friendly atmosphere. "Everyone come up." After the formalities, Lin Chen looked at Lu Yun and the others below and shouted loudly. Whoosh! Whoosh! The black boat was only a few meters above the ground, and the geniuses of Cloudwater County had no problem with that height. They jumped up one after another and landed on the black boat. Seeing the many young people gathered in more than a dozen groups, the geniuses of Cloudwater County naturally formed their own group in a corner. Lin Chen, Gu Qingfeng, and others smiled slightly, seeing this as nothing unusual. They had also experienced this scene, but with time, the original groups based on geographical affiliations would gradually disappear. In Martial Academy, strength is everything. Chapter 24, Chapter 24, Chapter 24, Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Chapter 24, Chapter 24, Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Let's go! As everyone stabilized their footing, the black boat slowly ascended, piercing through the clouds and flying towards the distance. One wonder how many of these people can become powerful warriors. Cloudwater County hasn't seen a strong cultivator in the true Qi realm or above for a long time, and the only one who appeared became an evil cultist. On a high platform in the central square, Jiang Hongji stood with his hands behind his back, gazing at the gradually disappearing black boat. "However, now that Cloudwater County doesn't have a county warden, my responsibilities are even greater." Thinking of this, Jiang Hongji became worried. "If another beast tide breaks out in Cloud Dream Mountain, I'll be troublesome. I'd better report to my superiors soon." B0XO. Kamboom. In midair, the black boat broke through the airwaves and sped forward, while the mountains and rivers below constantly receded. On the boat, young boys and girls from various counties in Spirit Martial Prefecture kept to themselves, while also carefully sizing each other up. Lu Yun noticed that there were always a few individuals who stood out in each group. These people exuded an indescribable aura, and those around them seemed to play supporting roles to them. There are no fewer than 10 people in the Meridian Passage realm, like Xiao Chun on this black boat. One just don't know about their innate talents, whether any of them have a level 6 talent. Lu Yun whispered to himself, pondering. Cloudwater County had so many people, yet the most outstanding ones had only a peak level 5 innate talent, which showed how rare level 6 talents were. Regardless, with the control panel, my cultivation speed and potential can't be simply measured by innate talent, so one don't need to care too much. After observing for a while, Lu Yun gave up and began to cultivate while sitting cross-legged. After these days of cultivation, his mix origin technique had advanced even further, and its progress had reached 57%. At this rate, He figured it would take only 2 more months for the mix origin technique to reach great accomplishment and advance to the late enter martial realm. Of course, that was the slowest progression speed. If he used energy points, that time would be significantly reduced. The black boat soon left Cloudwater County's territory and flew rapidly towards the distance. As Lu Yun immersed himself in cultivation, time flew by. Boom! Suddenly, Lu Yun felt a jolt in his body and withdrew from his cultivation state. We have arrived at the Martial Academy. Everyone prepare to disembark. A loud and clear voice rang out, and everyone on the black boat got moving. Lu Yun opened his eyes, stood up, and looked ahead. A range of endless mountains appeared in his sight, like flood dragons coiling on the ground. Among the mountains and forests, clusters of buildings were faintly visible, and wisps of clouds drifted about, giving it the appearance of a fairyland on Earth. This is the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. It's actually situated in a mountain range. Lu Yun marveled inwardly. He had thought that the Flying Spirit Martial Academy would be built in the city of Spirit Martial Prefecture, but to his surprise, it was located in the mountains far away from the city. Under the leadership of Lin Chen and the others, the new disciples of the Martial Academy, including Lu Yun, jumped off the black boat and landed on a square. On the square, elders were already waiting to receive them. Gu Qingfeng, Yun Bufan, Lin Chen, why are you guys so late? This old man has been waiting for you for more than 2 hours. The rugged-looking, loud-mouthed Song Gaojun bellowed. You better not blame me for making you wait if you haven't brought any good seeds. As he spoke, he scrutinized the new academy disciples. When he saw that more than 10 of them, including Xiao Chen, had already reached the Meridian Passage realm, he nodded slightly before urging them on. Not bad. It seems there should be quite a few good seeds. Hurry up and show me the information, so I can see just what kind of talent these new disciples have. Gu Qingfeng handed over the registry and pretended to be pitiful. Elder Song, please don't blame me. White Mountain County is so remote that there aren't many good seeds. I only found 2 with level 5 ordinary talent. Upon hearing this, Song Jaejin's eyes brightened. He rudely snatched the registry from Gu Qingfeng and began flipping through it. There are actually still 2 level 5 talents in that hellhole of White Mountain County. You're pretty lucky, kid. You deserve a reward. Ahem, Elder Song, what do you want to reward me with? Gu Qingfeng's eyes darted around, and he spoke ingratiatingly. Go claim your reward at the Internal Affairs Hall yourself. This old man can't afford to reward you. After saying that, Song Gaojun didn't bother with Gu Qingfeng anymore and snatched up the registry from Yun Bufan. Wow, Flowing Wind County is doing pretty well. Not only are there 3 level 5 talents, but one of them is even a peak level 5 talent. Song Gaojun closed the register, looked at the new disciples of the Martial Academy, and said loudly, "Who is Ma Yunfei?" As the words fell, the gazes of the new Martial Academy disciples from Flowing Wind County converged on one place. Lu Yun also followed the direction of their gazes and saw a young man standing proudly. He was handsome, with an extraordinary aura and bright, spirited eyes that seemed to hold a splendid galaxy. He slightly bowed to Song Gaojun and said, "Greetings to Elder Song, 1-8M Ma Yunfei from Flowing Wind County." Ma Yunfei's voice was steady, his expression calm, and his demeanor impressive. Level 5 Pinnacle Innate Talent. Not bad. Song Gaojun nodded slightly. From this moment on, the name Ma Yunfei would be deeply engraved in everyone's hearts. Level 5 Pinnacle Innate Talent was definitely an insurmountable mountain for the new Martial Academy disciples present. Ma Yunfei, perhaps he will be a worthy opponent. Within the ranks of Cloudwater County's martial arts new disciples, Xiao Chen muttered softly. At the same time, In the ranks of other counties, a sense of fighting spirit rose. Apparently, these talents with level 5 innate talent were very interested in Ma Yunfei, who had a level 5 pinnacle innate talent. Feeling the strong fighting intent, Ma Yunfei just smiled faintly and didn't take it seriously. It looks like a bunch of kids who can't help themselves. Lu Yun smiled slightly, completely forgetting that he seemed to be among the youngest in this group of people. It seemed like the opening show was pretty good. Song Gaojun didn't bother to check the registration books of each county's test takers again. Instead, he directly asked, "Have any of you recruited those with level 6 innate talent or higher?" Lin Chun and the others were silent. It was already quite difficult to recruit people with level 5 innate talent. Level 6 innate talent could only be found with exceptionally good luck. After a brief silence, an indifferent-looking man approached. Reporting to Elder Song, "One have recruited a level 6 innate talent in Dashan County." The indifferent man said, "What?" As soon as these words came out, everyone was astonished and looked at the indifferent man with envy. A level 6 innate talent was rare. They'd be fortunate to recruit one in several years. Even the current Flying Spirit Martial Academy had only 8 level 6 innate talents. Lu Yun was also slightly surprised. Among the new Martial Academy disciples in their batch, there was actually someone with a level 6 innate talent. Could it be him? Song Gaojun pondered for a moment before slowly looking at a young man. The young man stood in the crowd, surrounded by others as if they were stars around the moon. When he realized that Song Gaojun was looking at him, he raised his head and smiled faintly. This young man is Bai Haoshuan, a level 6 innate talent, currently in the middle stage of the Meridian Passage realm, the indifferent man introduced. Hiss! All of the new Martial Academy disciples suddenly drew in a breath of cold air, staring intently at the smiling Bai Haoshuan. 6-star innate talent? Mid-stage Meridian Passage realm? Either one of these attributes would have been enough to make him famous among the new Martial Academy disciples. Moreover, he possessed both of them. Bai Haoshuan. Lu Yun glanced at the young man and found him somewhat special. Heavenly prides like Xiao Chun, with level 5 innate talent, stood alone in a corner, with no one approaching them. However, it was different for Bai Haoshuan, who had many people around him, as if they were his followers. Starting to form factions even before entering the Martial Academy was a sign of deep scheming, and it was worth paying attention to. With the presence of Bai Haoshuan, a level 6 innate talent genius, the overall quality of the new generation of Martial Academy disciples had improved. As the guiding elder, Song Gaojun was naturally pleased and no longer inquired about other level 5 innate talents, so he began his speech. First of all, congratulations on passing the examination and becoming a member of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. However, keep in mind that being a disciple of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy doesn't mean you will suddenly transform into someone extraordinary. To achieve a true transformation, you must constantly improve and break through. The sound of Song Jaejun's voice echoed across the square. Apart from the new disciples with level 5 innate talent, everyone else will be treated as ordinary disciples of the academy starting from today. He continued, "Take them away," with a wave of Song Jaejun's hand. Several Martial Academy teachers came over and took more than 1,000 new disciples away. Lu Yun scanned the area, and there were still 23 people left, including himself. Chapter 25. Chapter 25. Chapter 25. First Class Martial Arts. Chapter 25. Chapter 25. First Class Martial Arts. Looking at the remaining 23 people, a smile appeared on Song Jaejun's face. He continued, "All of you possess a level 5 innate talent or higher, and according to the usual rules, after entering the academy, you will receive corresponding rewards and can directly become elite disciples bypassing ordinary disciples. However, don't get too excited too soon. Being an elite disciple in the Flying Spirit Martial Academy is just that, and the privileges and cultivation levels are not high. Furthermore, if you don't make progress for a long time, your privileges and level will also decrease, and you will be demoted to ordinary disciples. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun's heart skipped a beat. Even becoming a disciple of the Martial Academy still brought considerable pressure. After the pep talk, Song Gaojun instructed Lu Yun and the others to leave the square and enter a valley. B0XO. The valley was vast with patches of courtyards, each separated by a certain distance. This is where you, elite disciples, will live. From courtyard 3051 to courtyard 3100, you can choose anyone to live in. As for your rewards, someone will deliver them to you within 2 days. You all strive hard, and one hope that among you, someone can quickly break free from the identity of an elite disciple and become a disciple of a higher level. At that time, you will find that Mori-jin is fascinating and the martial arts world is even more exciting. After giving some encouragement, Song Gaojun left gracefully. The reward isn't given right away. Lu Yun didn't care much about Song Jaejin's words, but instead, he thought about his rewards. With Song Jaejin's departure, the 20 talented youngsters headed towards the courtyards. Lu Yun randomly chose a courtyard with the door number plate reading 3081. Upon entering the room, he found that the furnishings were very simple, with only a few chairs besides a bed. There was a neat arrangement of some disciples' items on the bed, including 2 sets of clothes and 2 booklets. There are booklets as well? Lu Yun immediately became interested and started reading the booklets. The first one was the Disciple Manual of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. After quickly reading it, Lu Yun remembered the gist of it. The manual contained the regulations of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, as well as the benefits, responsibilities, and duties of the disciples. The rules were simple, similar to the school rules of Blue Star in his previous life, such as respecting elders, refraining from killing each other, not having any connections with evil cults, etc. Besides that, it also introduced the different levels of Flying Spirit Martial Academy's disciples, with the lowest level being ordinary disciples, followed by elite disciples, Star Palace disciples, and finally, the highest level being Bright Moon Hall disciples. Additionally, every disciple in the academy must pass through the Myriad Phenomena Tower at least once. The Myriad Phenomena Tower has 30 floors. It is a mysterious spirit artifact and one of the foundations of the academy, priceless in value. From what Lu Yun knew, there was a distinction between ordinary weapons and true artifacts or mysterious instruments. The huge ship he rode on before was a mysterious instrument. He guessed that above mysterious instruments, there was a very high probability that there were spirit artifacts. The saber one have here might be the worst ordinary weapon. Looking at the saber beside him, Lu Yun couldn't help but give a bitter smile, then turned his attention back to the Disciple Manual. Starting from becoming a disciple of the Martial Academy, each disciple must pass through one level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower every year. Before level 10, if a disciple hasn't passed a level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower for 2 consecutive years, their level and cultivation level will automatically be reduced by 1. If a disciple hasn't passed a level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower for 3 consecutive years, they will be expelled from the Martial Academy. Of course, as long as they become a disciple of the Martial Academy, even if they are expelled, they will still be in great demand within the Mori-jin region. This incentive method is quite good. Closing the Disciple Manual, Lu Yun couldn't help but become curious about what kind of place the Myriad Phenomena Tower was. However, he had just entered the academy and hadn't received his rewards yet, so he had to put the matter of challenging the myriad phenomena tower aside for now. Soon, Lu Yun looked at the other booklet, neither thick nor thin. Pure Yang Aura. Lu Yun's eyes widened immediately. Pure Yang Aura had an impressive name. At least from the name, it seemed to be dozens or even hundreds of times more domineering than techniques like Breaking Wind Saber, Rushing Thunder Fist, or Eight Extremities Collapse. In fact, Pure Yang Aura was indeed several levels higher than techniques like Breaking Wind Saber technique because it was a first-class martial art, and even the most top-notch first-class martial art at that. When martial artists advanced to the Meridian Passage realm, they would begin to open up their Bodhis meridians, giving birth to true Qi. The more meridians are unblocked, the stronger the true Qi and the greater potential. Generally, top-tier martial arts can open up 5 to 6 meridians. Higher-ranked top-tier martial arts are slightly better, opening up 7 to 8 meridians. And the pinnacle of top-tier martial arts can open up 9 meridians. By opening up 9 meridians, a Meridian Passage realm martial artist's true Qi is already considered very formidable. However, when practiced to the highest level, Pure Yang Aura can help a Meridian Passage realm martial artist open up 12 meridians. It's like receiving a pillow at the onset of drowsiness. Lu Yun excitedly flipped through the Pure Yang Aura. In his opinion, the fact that Flying Spirit Martial Academy casually placed such a precious top-tier martial art on the bed shows either their astonishing wealth or the great importance they place on their elite disciples. Hiss, as expected from the most pinnacle top-tier martial art. Although its content wasn't much, it took Lu Yun 6 hours before he could fully memorize it. Name: Lu Yun Force, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, martial art, Breaking Wind Saber technique perfection, cannot be upgraded. Ada Origin technique small achievement, 58%. Pure Yang Aura, pre-entry level, innate talent, level 5 martial arts. Enter martial realm mid-phase, energy points, 0. 3. Opening the panel again. There was indeed a change, with a new martial art added to the martial arts column, Pure Yang Aura. The minimum requirement for practicing Pure Yang Aura is reaching the Meridian Passage realm and the birth of true Qi within a martial artist's body. Currently, Lu Yun was only at the mid-phase of the Enter Martial realm, unable to practice Pure Yang Aura, and had to put it aside for now. I need to practice swiftly and grow stronger in the shortest amount of time. Thinking about Meng Hongfei's terrifying strike back in Cloudwater County and Lin Chen's extreme cold, true essence that could freeze everything, Lu Yun suddenly felt a strong sense of urgency. So, after tidying up his room, he sat cross-legged on the bed and began to practice. With his 5-star innate talent, he had a terrifying potential. And coupled with his panel that could sense his progress at any time, his motivation to cultivate was incredibly strong. Time passed in the blink of an eye, and in an instant, 2 days had gone by. Mix Origin technique, small achievement, 60%. Seeing the updated information on his panel, a smile of joy appeared on Lu Yun's face. Feeling his progress and growth at any time made him utterly addicted. Thump, thump. At this moment, he suddenly heard a knocking sound, followed by a voice coming from outside the courtyard. "Junior brother Lu Yun, your reward has been delivered. Please come out and receive it." Lu Yun was slightly stunned at these words, but his excitement began to rise. The long-awaited reward was finally within his grasp. 3 bottles of body-tempering pills and 1 bottle of Meridian pills. Just thinking about these generous rewards was heart-pounding. Creak. Lu Yun opened the courtyard door and saw a chubby teenager standing outside, dressed extravagantly, with his eyes nearly squinting shut. "Junior brother Lu Yun, one truly admire you. You've been in the Martial Academy for 2 days, and you've been buried in hard practice, not even taking a walk outside." This chubby teenager, almost like a rolling ball, walked into the courtyard, naturally, casually observing all around and exclaiming, Oh, you still haven't even cleaned up the courtyard. I don't know what to say to you. Lu Yun could only give an embarrassed smile and stared closely at him, trying to see where his reward was. Chapter 26, Chapter 26, Chapter 26, The Surge of Energy, Chapter 26, Chapter 26. The surge of energy this chubby young man didn't seem to notice, and just reached out with his chubby right hand to touch his smooth chin. After pondering for a while, he suddenly seemed to think of something and asked tentatively, "Junior brother Lu Yun, are you interested in the pure yang aura martial arts distributed by the Martial Academy? So you've been trying to cultivate it these 2 days?" Lu Yun shook his head. The minimum requirement for cultivating pure yang aura is to advance to the meridian passage realm and generate true qi in the body. I'm still a ways away from breaking through. Oh, that's right. The chubby young man was slightly taken aback, and then kindly reminded him, although you have a level 5 innate talent, one would still advise you not to cultivate this martial art. When you break through to the meridian passage realm, you can choose another one at the cultivation technique pavilion. Why is that? Lu Yun asked, puzzled. B0XO, calm pure yang aura, is indeed a top-notch martial art, and cultivating it to perfection can open up 12 meridians. Without a convincing reason, it would be impossible for Lu Yun to give up on cultivating it. Next, the chubby young man explained the reasons one by one. It turned out that pure yang aura was indeed a top-notch martial art, and there was no better martial art in the cultivation technique pavilion. However, pure yang aura is not easy to enter. Every generation, new disciples with a 5-star innate talent or above would obtain pure yang aura, but very few of them would ultimately enter it, and most would eventually give up. Moreover, even if one's talent was good enough to successfully enter the pure yang aura, one could only cultivate it to great accomplishment and open up 9 meridians. Taking such a huge risk, one could only open up 9 meridians in the end. Why not just choose a top-notch martial art from the start? For others, pure yang aura is like a chicken rib, tasteless when eaten, but a pity to discard. But for Lu Yun, it was not a chicken rib. On the contrary, it was a shortcut for him to increase his combat power by leaps and bounds. How about it? Senior brother treats you well, right? One told you such confidential news. The chubby young man stared at Lu Yun with a serious look on his face. Oh, thank you for telling me, senior brother. Lu Yun's eyes were shining, and then he asked, but just now, senior brother said that you came to deliver the entry-level assessment reward. I'm curious about your identity. The chubby young man's eyes narrowed slightly, revealing a glint of shrewdness. Oh, look at my memory. I almost forgot the main business. He slapped his forehead and introduced himself. My name is Duan Qing, and you can call me Senior Brother Duan. 1 a.m. currently on duty at the Internal Affairs Hall, responsible for distributing entry-level assessment rewards. With that, he took out 4 special porcelain bottles and handed them to Lu Yun. This is a 3rd-grade body-tempering pill, a bottle of meridian pill, and the reward for level 5 ordinary innate talent. I'm really bothering senior brother Duan, making you come all this way in person. Come on, sit down and have some tea. With some polite words, Lu Yun grabbed the 4 bottles of pills with a look of concern, as if he was afraid the other party would change his mind. Seeing that Lu Yun only had eyes for the pills and completely ignored him, Duan Qing instantly had this thought in his mind. This junior brother Lu Yun was a fellow of the same path. Junior brother, as a senior and your senior brother, one need to give you a piece of advice. Duan Qing retracted his smile and put on a serious look. You are currently only in the mid-phase of the enter-martial realm. Your top priority is to quickly temper your body, advance to the meridian passage realm as soon as possible, and gain a foothold among the elite disciples. if you haven't advanced to the Meridian Passage realm by the end of the newcomer protection period. Not only will you be demoted to an ordinary disciple, but your various benefits and treatment will also be reduced. So that's how it is. Lu Yun frowned slightly, playing with the small porcelain bottle in his hand. Don't worry, junior brother, I think you are quite pleasing, and I might as well help you. Oh, how does senior brother plan to help me? Junior brother, your 5-star innate talent is not bad, but you just lack cultivation resources. But now it's different. The Meridian pill in your hand is quite valuable. If exchanged for body tempering pills, it would be enough to help you cultivate to the Meridian Passage realm. How about this? You just arrived at the Martial Academy not long ago and are not familiar with the situation. It'll help you deal with this Meridian pill. That doesn't sound good. Lu Yun hesitated. It's okay. I like to help others, especially talented disciples like you. Duan Qing said confidently, according to the normal market price, 1 Meridian pill can be exchanged for 5 body tempering pills. Senior brother sees you as a kindred spirit, so it'll give you 6. What do you think, junior brother? With that, he stared intently at Lu Yun. No, it should be the Meridian pill in Lu Yun's hand. All right. Lu Yun agreed without hesitation. Duan Qing didn't lie. The value of 1 Meridian pill is indeed about that of 5 body tempering pills. But generally, people would not exchange Meridian pills for body tempering pills. The higher the grade of the pill, the rarer it is, and it is often in short supply. However, Lu Yun is different. He has a panel, and both body tempering pills and Meridian pills will be converted into energy. Although he has not tried it, the energy converted from 6 body tempering pills should not be less than that of 1 Meridian pill. In this transaction, the chances of Lu Yun losing out are very small. That was the reason he agreed so readily. Junior brother agreed so easily. Duan Qing looked at the bottle of Meridian pills in front of him, his expression somewhat strange. But he didn't hesitate at all, immediately taking it and quickly extracting 6 porcelain bottles containing body tempering pills, handing them to Lu Yun. Senior brother Duan, if possible, one hope we can continue to collaborate in the future. Definitely, Duan Qing said with satisfaction. One still have to distribute assessment rewards, and he'll visit you when I get the chance. After Duan Qing left, Lu Yun couldn't wait to return to his room, opened the porcelain bottle, poured a body tempering pill into his mouth, and swallowed. Energy value 1-8. Just after absorbing the first body tempering pill, the energy value on the panel changed, rising from the original 0. 3-1. 8. That is to say, 1 body tempering pill could be converted into 5 energy points. Knowing this, Lu Yun was immediately shocked. 1 body tempering pill was equivalent to 5 energy points. There were 10 body tempering pills in each porcelain bottle, and with 9 bottles, there were a total of 90 body tempering pills. That is to say, as long as he consumed the body tempering pills, his energy points would skyrocket to an unprecedented total of 135. 3. Understanding this, without any hesitation, Lu Yun immediately swallowed 1 body tempering pill after another. Energy value 3. Energy value 4. 8. Energy value 6. 2. Energy value 7. Energy value 35. An hour later, the energy points on the panel increased to 135. It was slightly different from what Lu Yun had anticipated, but the difference wasn't significant. The reason for this difference was probably because the quality of these body tempering pills wasn't uniform. However, none of that mattered. Having so many energy points for the first time, Lu Yun almost laughed out loud. Name: Lu Yun Faction, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Martial Arts, Breaking Wind Saber Technique Perfection, cannot be upgraded. Mix Origin Technique, small achievement, 60%. Pure Yang Aura, pre-entry, innate talent, level 5 martial arts. Enter martial realm mid-stage, energy value, 135 indeed. To obtain more energy points, I need to leave the small places and join forces like the Martial Academy. Looking at the 135 energy points on the panel, a satisfied smile appeared on Lu Yun's face. Ever since he discovered the panel, the total amount of energy points he gained never exceeded 20. Now, after only a few days at the Martial Academy, his energy points have soared to 135. It goes to show, shallow water truly cannot raise real dragons. Perhaps today he'll be able to upgrade this top-tier first-class martial art, Pure Yang Aura, to the extreme. Lu Yun couldn't be 100% sure. After all, the higher the level of martial arts, the more energy points it consumes for promotion. However, upgrading the Mix Origin Technique to its limit should be more than enough. Lu Yun walked out of his room, found a spot in the courtyard, and prepared to start upgrading. Chapter 27, Chapter 27, Chapter 27, Meridian Passage Realm. Chapter 27, Chapter 27, Meridian Passage Realm, 1 energy point consumed. Mix Origin Technique has advanced to small achievement, 69%. 1 energy point consumed. Mix Origin Technique has advanced to small achievement, 78%. Consuming B0XO. Calm soon. After consuming 6 energy points, the Mix Origin Technique has advanced to the level of great accomplishment, 1%. At this moment, Lu Yun felt an explosive surge of energy and blood throughout his body. Simultaneously, his bones and muscles seemed to undergo a qualitative improvement, as if every cell in his body was filled with powerful strength. He couldn't help but pick up the long sword placed on the chair next to him, fully exerting the Breaking Wind Saber Technique in the courtyard. Whoosh! Whoosh! First move, sweeping thousands of armies. The wind from the saber roared, like a gust of wind blowing across, making the fallen leaves on the ground fly into the sky. Second move, breaking thousands of mountains. A cold light flashed across, and the floating leaves were directly penetrated by a strong force, causing numerous crushed pieces to fall. The third move, sweeping the universe. Lu Yun's figure was so fast that it seemed like a phantom. With a wave of his saber, numerous shadows filled the sky like a dense net, instantly smashing the falling debris to pieces. Attack speed, explosive power, and physical strength were comprehensively enhanced. After seeing the remaining hundreds of energy values, Lu Yun didn't hesitate and quickly chose to upgrade again. Bang! As soon as the thought fell, another energy point mysteriously disappeared, and the Mix Origin Technique progressed to great accomplishment, 5%. It felt too slow to consume only 1 energy point at a time. It wasn't satisfying. Lu Yun had a thought, and 10 energy points were consumed in an instant, allowing the Mix Origin Technique to advance to great accomplishment, 45%. Immediately afterward, his body experienced intense pain, as if his bones were shattered by a strong force. Painful convulsions spread throughout Lu Yun's body, causing him to break out into a cold sweat. However, this pain didn't last long. A warm current emerged from his heart, flowed through his body, gradually mended his bones, and relieved the previous pain. Just now, it should be that my physical fitness improved too much at once. My brain and memory weren't able to keep up, so one felt such pain. After enduring the torment, once, Lu Yun dared not recklessly upgrade again. 2 energy points consumed, Mix Origin Technique has advanced to great accomplishment, 53%. 2 energy points consumed, Mix Origin Technique has advanced to great accomplishment, 61%. Consuming when another wave of energy points was consumed, Mixed Origin Technique finally reached the limit of great accomplishment. Suppressing his excitement, Lu Yun carefully upgraded again. Bang! Ewo energy points were consumed, and immediately afterward, a powerful force surged from his body, which quickly passed through his muscles, bones, and every cell. His energy and blood were boiling, his bones trembling, and his cells sublimating. Lu Yun could vaguely feel the improvement in his physical quality and the sublimation of his strength. This improvement was different from before. This time it was very comfortable, very smooth, and without any discomfort. With the flow of time, changes gradually happened to his flesh. At the Dantian place within his body, a warm breath was born as thin as a hair. It began to flow rapidly, carefully moving throughout his body to perform tempering. Plop! About 10 minutes later, Lu Yun heard a light sound from within his body. His body surpassed its limits once more, and the warm breath in his Dantian place became more robust. Breaking the limit, true qi was self-produced. According to the Mixed Origin Technique's records, once it is practiced to the stage of perfection, the body can achieve perfection. And this opportunity can be used to generate true qi inside the Dantian. Once true qi is produced, it signifies crossing the limit of the intermartial realm and advancing to the second realm of martial arts, the Meridian Passage realm. Soon, true qi overflowed in the Dantian, filling it up like a small stream gradually filling a lake. Meridian Passage realm, have I really broken through? Lu Yun woke up from his breakthrough state. Right away, he opened his status panel. Name, Lu Yun Force Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Martial Arts, Breaking Wind Saber Technique, Perfection, Not Improvable, Mixed Origin Technique, Perfection 1%, Improvable, Pure Yang Aura, Pre-Entry, Improvable. Innate Talent, Level 5, Martial Arts, Beginner Stage of Meridian Passage Realm, Energy Point, 103, As Lu Yun looked at the martial arts column on the panel, his heart couldn't help but shake. The Mixed Origin Technique's highest level was perfection, and he never heard that there were levels beyond perfection in martial arts. Plus, the panel displayed the word improvable. This was clearly telling him that there was a higher level beyond perfection, which meant there was room for improvement in the Mixed Origin Technique. Once he realized this point, Lu Yun did not hesitate anymore and continued to improve his Mixed Origin Technique. After breaking through to the Meridian Passage realm, his physical fitness and strength underwent a massive transformation, so he directly consumed 5 energy points. Indeed, when he consumed 5 energy points at once, he didn't feel any discomfort. On the contrary, because the limit was raised again, he felt a sense of comfort. Over and over again, after upgrading 7 times and consuming 35 energy points, the status on the panel for the Mixed Origin Technique changed. Simultaneously, the Dantian expanded again, roughly doubling in size, and produced more true qi, feeling the transformation in his Dantian. The birth of more potent true qi. Lu Yun couldn't help but crow in his heart, venting his excitement. His Dantian had practically doubled in size, meaning the limit of his true qi was twice that of other martial artists at the same level. This meant that just after stepping into the Meridian Passage realm, his foundation and potential were already twice or more than that of others. With this thought, Lu Yun couldn't help but refocus his attention on the status panel. Mixed Origin Technique. Reach Profound, 1%, Improvable. Reach Profound, no. Has the Mixed Origin Technique not reached its limit? Can it still be improved? As he looked at the Mixed Origin Technique on the panel, which still had room for improvement, Lu Yun couldn't help but blink, making sure he wasn't seeing things. After perfection, it's Reach Profound, after Reach Profound. Is there a higher level? With the thought of maximizing his foundation and potential, Lu Yun didn't hesitate for too long and chose to improve once more. the number of energy points gradually decreased, and his flesh was constantly trembling. Looking at the mixed origin technique's progress in cultivation and the constantly decreasing energy points, Lu Yun was feeling both pain and joy. When he felt his dantian undergoing drastic changes once again, he only had 30 energy points left. Then, he looked at the martial arts column on the panel again. At this time, the mixed origin technique had advanced from reach profound to another level, perceive truth. Simultaneously, the words improvable behind the cultivation progress had changed to non-improvable. So after achieving martial arts perfection, it's reach profound, and after reach profound, it's perceive truth. Could there be a higher level than perceive truth? However, the mixed origin technique on the perceived truth level was abnormal. Not only did it let his flesh surpass the limit again, it also expanded his dantian by more than 4 times. Lu Yun stood in the courtyard, closing his eyes to feel the powerful body and the true qi that overflowed in his dantian. If his Buddhist true qi was previously a small stream, it was now a mighty river. It had multiplied several times. I wonder how much true qi I have now compared to other Meridian Passage realm martial artists. Lu Yun snapped back to reality with a rich smile on his face. Chapter 28, Chapter 28, Chapter 28, Shortening Energy Accumulation Time. Chapter 28, Chapter 28, Shortening Energy Accumulation Time. The Meridian Passage realm stage mainly focuses on clearing the meridians within the body. The higher the potential, the faster the speed of clearing the meridians, and the more numerous they will be. Different martial arts chosen will result in different numbers of meridians being cleared. The number of meridians determines the limit of true qi for martial artists in the Meridian Passage realm. Lu Yun has just stepped into the Meridian Passage realm, but without clearing a single meridian, his true qi is already equivalent to that of other Meridian Passage realm martial artists who have cleared 2, 3, or even 4 meridians. B0XO. In other words, now Lu Yun's quantity of true qi is no weaker than that of Meridian Passage realm martial artists who have cleared several meridians. A few hours ago, Lu Yun was just a mid-stage entry-level martial artist, but now he has already reached the initial stage of the Meridian Passage realm with his mixed origin technique entering the perceived truth realm, and his true qi is comparable to that of martial artists who have been in the Meridian Passage realm for much longer. Such a significant improvement is undoubtedly exciting. However, he also understands that all this is because of the panel. Without the panel, it would have taken him at least several months to achieve such an improvement with his level 5 innate talent. Moreover, this is the Martial Academy, where there are countless geniuses and strong martial artists, and the Meridian Passage realm is nothing special. Although the Meridian Passage realm is just the beginning, one have already surpassed many new disciples and have firmly established my footing among the elite disciples. However, such a huge leap in cultivation within a single day will definitely raise suspicion. How do one solve this problem? The excuse of taking a body-tempering pill obviously doesn't work. Lu Yun's smile gradually fades. Improving from mid-stage entry level to the initial stage of the Meridian Passage realm within a year is already considered good talent, barely qualifying as a small genius. Doing so within half a year would require at least level 4 innate talent or higher, and can be considered elite. If it takes only 1 month, it requires at least level 5 or even level 6 innate talent, and is almost at the Martial Academy Heavenly Pride level. For someone like Lu Yun, achieving this in less than a day's time is something even level 8 or level 9 innate talent geniuses cannot achieve. Lu Yun shakes his head slightly. His progress is indeed too abnormal. For the time being, I'll go into seclusion for a month, and then find an excuse to show off my advancement to the Meridian Passage realm. Although one can't be too abnormal, I can't hide my talents too much either. Hiding one's talents excessively may not only fail to attract the attention of the martial academy, but even people of little importance might not be able to recognize reality. He suddenly recalls the displeasure Mu Qingyun showed towards him during the martial academy examination. If his strength at that time was far higher than Mu Qingyun's, the latter would definitely not dare to harbor any discontent or hostility towards him. After all, as long as someone is not too foolish, they would not easily offend those who have far superior talent and strength. Of course, this excludes those who are arrogant, have low intelligence, and can't recognize reality. Lu Yun believes that he shouldn't encounter such people that easily. If he really accidentally encounters them, then he could only apologize. Collecting his thoughts, Lu Yun glances at the stone lock in the courtyard, and his heart moves as he reaches out to grab it. The 1,000-pound stone lock, although not as light as a feather, is like a toy in his hand, easily picked up. My current strength has completely broken through the 1,000-pound limit, reaching a terrifying level. Lu Yun secretly estimates that his strength is probably around 2,000 to 3,000 pounds, and that's without using true qi. Once he uses true qi, even he himself cannot estimate its limits. Name: Lu Yun Influence, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Martial Arts, Breaking Wind Saber Technique, Perfection, Non-Promotable, Mixed Origin Technique, Perceived Truth, Non-Promotable, Pure Yang Aggressive Aura, Pre-Entry, Promotable, Innate Talent, Level 5 Martial Realm, Initial Stage of Meridian Passage Realm, Energy Points, 30. It's a pity that this panel is still quite simple and can't display more indicators. Otherwise, it would allow me to have a better grasp of my own strength. After putting down the stone lock, Lu Yun tidied up briefly before opening the courtyard gate and heading to the cafeteria. Since entering the martial academy, he had been in seclusion for continuous cultivation, not eating for several days in a row. Even if he had advanced to the Meridian Passage realm, he still needed food. Not to mention, after not eating for several days, his stomach had started to become agitated. Both ordinary and elite disciples have their own cafeterias, which provide free meals. However, the level of the elite cafeteria is slightly higher. By showing his identity token, Lu Yun easily entered the cafeteria. At this time, it was dinner time, and many people were already seated in the cafeteria. He picked up some rice and dishes, and then casually chose a seat to sit down. It had to be said that the treatment in the elite cafeteria was much better than what was described in the disciples' handbook. Not only was it extremely rich, but it also used high-quality ingredients. After eating everything, Lu Yun, who was hungry for several days, felt his spirits lift and was full of energy. It seems that even though my strength has improved a lot, I am still a foodie at heart. Moreover, although these ingredients are not spiritual materials, they contain sufficient nutrients. I wonder if eating so much at once would help improve the accumulation of energy value. According to the previous rule, his energy value would automatically accumulate 1 every half a month. Now, it has almost been 5 days since the last time his energy value increased automatically. After having enough to eat and drink, Lu Yun returned to his residence. Afterwards, Lu Yun mostly stayed in seclusion. Aside from going to the cafeteria for his 3 meals a day, he stayed in his own courtyard, familiarizing himself with his rapidly increasing strength. The increase in energy value was like enlightenment. Although it was all his own, he could easily use it. However, there was a drawback. He was unable to fully adapt to so much at once and needed a process to gradually adjust. Of course, this was because his progress had taken such a huge leap. Lu Yun guessed that if the improvement was smaller, such a problem would not arise. New martial arts disciples have the opportunity to go to lectures by martial arts teachers every week. People like Lu Yun, who enter the martial arts academy as elite disciples, can even consult martial arts teachers privately about cultivation bottlenecks and other martial arts knowledge. However, Lu Yun didn't take this seriously. He only needed to add points for his cultivation practice. As long as he had enough energy value, there would be no bottlenecks. At least so far, he had not encountered any bottlenecks. And so Lu Yun remained low-key like an invisible person, going back and forth between his residence and the elite cafeteria. During this time, he didn't have any contact or communication with others. In Lu Yun's opinion, engaging in meaningless socializing was not only useless, but it was also a waste of time. Only by improving his own strength can he stand tall. Otherwise, when facing powerful enemies, having the panel would still be useless in the end. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. I didn't expect it to take me so long to adapt and consolidate this upgrade, sighed Lu Yun. When he upgraded his breaking wind saber technique, he didn't bother to consolidate it. It was as if he was born to adapt to it. However, it was different for the mix origin technique. It took him a full half-month to adapt, consolidate, and get used to it. Lu Yun surmised that martial arts related to killing techniques had a smaller impact on physical improvement, so he adapted quickly, even being able to instantly adapt and function effectively. But mix origin technique, which is more of an internal martial arts, had a significant improvement on the physical body. It was almost like a metamorphosis, so it took a relatively long time to adapt. During this half-month, in addition to adapting and consolidating his rapidly increasing strength, he also had other gains. That is, he discovered that the time required to accumulate one energy value had been reduced by more than half. Previously, it took half a month to accumulate one energy value. Now, it only takes 7 days. Chapter 29, Chapter 29, Chapter 29, Pure Yang Aggressive Aura. Chapter 29, Chapter 29, Pure Yang Aggressive Aura. Name: Lu Yun Force, Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Martial Arts, Breaking Wind Saber Technique. Perfection cannot be upgraded. Mix Origin Technique. Perceived Truth cannot be upgraded. Pure Yang Aura, Pre-Entry can be upgraded. Innate Talent. Level 5, Martial Arts. Early stage of Meridian Passage, Realm B0XO. Com, Energy Value. 33. Seeing the ordinary and simple panel on the screen, Lu Yun understood that this was the basis for his foothold in this world, and he needed to study and utilize it well. Now, the time for energy accumulation is shortened. Does this mean that as long as the cultivation base breaks through, the time for energy accumulation will be reduced? If that's the case, his efficiency in obtaining energy value in the future will be greatly improved. The current main task is to fully convert the energy value into strength, and then go out to obtain treasures that can be converted into energy value. Lu Yun murmured, and then prepared to start upgrading his Pure Yang Aura. If it were not for his strength skyrocketing so much before, and he hadn't fully adapted yet, he would have wanted to upgrade his Pure Yang Aura and open up his Bodis Meridians long ago. After half a month's time, he had fully adapted to the surge in strength and gained full control of it. It can be said that everything is ready, just waiting for the right moment. Dong dong. Just then, the courtyard door was suddenly knocked. Lu Yun furrowed his brows, as he had hardly had any contact with other people since coming to the Martial Academy, and no one should be looking for him. Despite his doubts, he still went out and opened the door. Creak. Lu Yun opened the door and saw a middle-aged man with an average build and a frosty face standing in front of him. Greetings, Elder Zhang. The visitor was named Zhang Zicheng, who was an elder in the Martial Academy, responsible for the cultivation and daily life of their batch of new disciples. Lu Yun didn't know Zhang Zicheng very well, having only met him once before. The sudden visit was unexpected for him. Seeing Lu Yun coming out, Zhang Zicheng's frosty face gradually softened, and his eyes flickered. In an instant, Lu Yun felt as if his entire body had been seen through by the other party. Lu Yun, isn't it? Why haven't one seen you in the lecture hall for such a long time. Do you think that you can surpass the instruction of the martial academy teachers by practicing in seclusion, or do you think that you are powerful enough to no longer need to attend the lecture hall? Although Zhang Zicheng's face was no longer as ugly as before, he still gave Lu Yun a fierce scolding. Junior had just received the assessment reward, and my cultivation base was at the crucial stage of breaking through, so I spent some time in solo cultivation. Lu Yun spoke in a calm tone, while slightly releasing some of his aura. He had fully adapted to and mastered his skyrocketing strength during this period, and he could control it at will. If he didn't make a move, most people would not notice it. He wasn't sure if Zhang Zicheng knew about his cultivation base, so he made a slight display. Being an elder in the martial academy, Zhang Zicheng naturally saw through Lu Yun's little trick with a glance and chuckled in his heart. With his strength and realm, he naturally could see Lu Yun's cultivation base at a glance. However, Lu Yun's rapid breakthrough did arouse his curiosity. Remember, you were only at the mid-stage of Enter Martial Realm when you started, and now in just half a month, you have already broken through to the Meridian Passage Realm. Even if you fully consumed 3 body tempering pills, it should not have allowed you to break through so quickly, right? I exchanged 1 Meridian pill with senior brother Duan Qing for 6 additional body tempering pills. Plus, I practiced hard for several days, barely managing to break through. Lu Yun explained. He initially wanted to wait a while longer before showing his strength, but since the other party had already come to him, there was no need to wait that long. Sure enough, Zhang Zicheng nodded slightly upon hearing this. Even so, your breakthrough in such a short time must have come with tremendous hard work. Otherwise, it would not be possible for you, with your level 5 innate talent, to break through in such a short time. In the path of martial arts, one must strike a balance between tension and relaxation. Although studying behind closed doors can lead to decent progress in a short amount of time, it is insufficient for reaching the peak. Next, you must make time to attend lectures and listen to the insights of the martial academy teachers. Absorbing their experience will be beneficial for your future cultivation and growth. After a brief expression of praise, Zhang Zicheng returned to the main topic. In Zhang Zicheng's view, Lu Yun's rapid breakthrough to the Meridian Passage realm likely indicated innate talent close to a 5-star pinnacle. After all, he had never heard of other 5-star ordinary talent disciples making such progress within half a month. Even typical 5-star pinnacle talents might not be able to achieve this. Invisibly, his appreciation for Lu Yun increased once more. Besides the lecture hall, the Myriad Phenomena Tower is also a good place. Myriad Phenomena Tower? A glint flashed in Lu Yun's eyes. It was stated in the disciples' manual that the Myriad Phenomena Tower had 30 floors, and passing each floor would grant contribution points. Within the Martial Academy, contribution points were the medium for all transactions, and taels of silver were of no use. He needed contribution points to exchange for pills like Body Tempering Pill and Meridian Pill. Originally, he planned to enter the Myriad Phenomena Tower right after increasing his pure yang aura. Unexpectedly, Zhang Zicheng had brought it up himself. Seeing Lu Yun's change in expression, Zhang Zicheng mistakenly thought the other was wary of the Myriad Phenomena Tower and couldn't help but explain further. For Martial Academy disciples, the Myriad Phenomena Tower is not simply a place for annual assessment. It is also a cultivation, holy ground. By fighting to the death with the demon beasts manifested by the tower, you can hone your martial arts and enhance your strength to the utmost. Since you just made a breakthrough, you can try entering the Myriad Phenomena Tower. This will be of great help in stabilizing your strength. In the past, he wouldn't have bothered to elaborate further. However, seeing Lu Yun's significant improvement in just a half a month, it was clear he was a potential genius. He might grow to great heights in the future. Helping him during his weak phase was like sending charcoal in the snow. Perhaps in the future, once Lu Yun had grown stronger, he would remember the past favor and bring considerable returns and assistance. With this thought, his gaze towards Lu Yun gradually softened. "Thank you for your guidance, Elder Zhang." Lu Yun expressed his gratitude with a bow. "You continue working hard. Strive to leave the elite disciples' ranks and enter the Star Palace as soon as possible." Encouraged by Zhang Zicheng, Lu Yun left to ponder. Lu Yun fell into deep thought in the courtyard. "It seems I've been too cautious." Zhang Zicheng, as an elder, was only slightly surprised and astonished by Lu Yun's breakthrough to the Meridian Passage realm within such a short time. With that in mind, achieving such a breakthrough in half a month wasn't as much of a monstrously talented feat as Lu Yun had imagined. Or perhaps there were disciples in the academy who had accomplished similar breakthroughs before. Regardless, this experience provided new thoughts for Lu Yun. Perhaps in the future, one could afford to display even more monstrous talent. Lu Yun secretly planned in his heart. With 33 energy points remaining, he planned to devote them all to the pure Yang aura. Once his strength improved, he would head to the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Lu Yun began recalling the details of the pure Yang aura. The reason why pure Yang aura was challenging to learn at the entry level was that it required transforming all the true qi in the dantian into aggressive aura, a difficult task for many talents. However, this was relatively easy for Lu Yun. Upgrade. 10 energy points were consumed in an instant, and the pure Yang aggressive aura upgraded to entry level 1%. In that moment, the true qi within his dantian began to undergo a qualitative change, transforming towards the aggressive aura. Pure Yang aggressive aura belonged to the scope of true qi, but its intensity far exceeded that of regular true qi. The transformation process lasted for an hour before finally stopping. A vast aura erupted from Lu Yun's body, filling the entire courtyard. Chapter 30, Chapter 30, Chapter 30. Deterrence. Chapter 30, Chapter 30. Deterrence with a thought from Lu Yun, the pure and unyielding pure Yang aura erupted like a sharp arrow shooting out. Boom! A crack appeared in the 300-pound stone lock on the ground. Is this pure Yang aura? It's so powerful. Lu Yun couldn't help but feel astonished. Although the amount of pure Yang aura was about half of his previous true qi, it greatly boosted his strength in a way that his previous true qi could never compare with. B0XO. Kami didn't waste time and continued to add points. Since there were no adverse effects after consuming 10 energy points at once, this meant that his physical body must have undergone a transformation, and its ability to withstand energy points has also improved. This continuous consumption of energy points twice resulted in his pure Yang aura reaching small achievement, 1%. As his dantian started filling up with pure Yang aura, it began to head towards the first meridian. Puchi, with a crisp sound, Lu Yun's first meridian was opened, and the aggressive aura circulated within his body. It was opened so easily. Feeling the surge of aggressive aura, Lu Yun was overjoyed. For martial artists in the Meridian Passage realm, their meridians are like rivers, true qi is like flowing water, and the dantian is a lake where the true qi circulates. As the number of meridians increases, the circulating true qi also increases, resulting in a higher amount of true qi in the dantian. Now that Lu Yun has opened the first meridian, his aggressive aura began to increase rapidly, flowing along the meridians into the dantian, and repeating the cycle. After the first meridian was opened, the aggressive aura in the dantian went towards the second meridian. Qi. Before long, the second meridian was opened, and the amount of aggressive aura surged again. Chi, the third meridian was opened, and the aggressive aura increased dramatically. Chi, the fourth meridian was opened, and the aggressive aura increased dramatically. 4 meridians had been opened in one go, and the boost that pure yang aura brought to Lu Yun when it reached small achievement finally stopped. What a mighty aggressive aura! Lu Yun felt stronger than ever before. For meridians were all filled with pure yang aura, like a mighty river rushing forward. It's truly a top-notch martial art. Just at small achievement, it has opened 4 meridians, and the power is so fierce. Overjoyed, Lu Yun opened his panel. Name, Lu Yun Faction, Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Martial Arts, Breaking Wind Saber Technique, Perfection, Unimprovable, Mixed Origin Technique, Perceive the Truth, Unimprovable, Pure Yang Aura, Small Achievement, 1%. Innate Talent. Level 5, Martial Arts, Meridian Passage Realm Intermediate Stage. 4 meridians, Energy Value. 3, it's time to go to the Myriad Phenomena Tower. An hour later, Lu Yun appeared before a huge tower. There was a bustling crowd around, and Lu Yun even spotted several familiar faces from Cloudwater County. Lu Yun, with your mere enter martial realm middle stage cultivation, you think of challenging the Myriad Phenomena Tower? Mu Qingyun walked up to Lu Yun with a mocking look on his face. At the same time, a powerful aura erupted from his body, clearly at the peak of the enter martial realm. Only 1 step away from the Meridian Passage realm. Lu Yun couldn't help but frown, thinking to himself, why did I encounter this guy? Is he trying to force me to slap him in the face? Little brother Mu, Lu Yun is an elite disciple, and he's considered our senior brother. You should show some respect, or else be careful, he might make things difficult for you. Suddenly, a young man walked over, his face full of contempt, and a stronger aura emanating from his body. Obviously, this person's cultivation was even more advanced than Mu Qinjian's, having already broken through to the Meridian Passage realm. Chen Tianqi. Seeing this young man, Lu Yun began to recall his name in his mind, and he did succeed in remembering it. Chen Tianqi performed extraordinarily well in the assessment. With a top level 4 innate talent, his natural talent was only below Xiao Chun and Lu Yun. As for his strength, he had reached the peak of the enter martial realm, scoring 91 points on the measuring strength pillar, making him the second strongest among the disciples from Cloudwater County. Oh, I didn't expect that senior brother Lu would remember a little brother like me. This is quite a surprise. Chen Tianqi put heavy emphasis on the words senior brother Lu, attracting the attention of the people around him. Elite disciples are not unchangeable, especially those newcomers who just entered the entry level. If they can't break through to the Meridian Passage realm within a year, they will be demoted to ordinary disciples. Mu Qingyun pretended not to understand Chen Tianqi's words and said sarcastically on the side, Brother Mu, don't forget that our Lu Yun is a level 5 innate talent genius. Isn't breaking into the Meridian Passage realm as simple as drinking water for him? I know that, of course, but that's true only under the condition that he has abundant cultivation resources. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to break through from the early stage of the enter martial realm to the Meridian Passage realm within a year. Hee. Watching the two of them arguing, Lu Yun felt speechless in his heart. Other transmigrators always encounter such matters. They either have sharp tongues or they like to pretend to be weak while being strong, or their natural talent is indeed not up to par. But why had things changed when it came to him? First, he hadn't offended them. Secondly, his natural talent wasn't bad either. Yet, some people still wanted to provoke him for no reason, which was quite strange. Could it be that all transmigrators had to experience being mocked and then proving themselves in order to show the uniqueness of being a transmigrator? Lu Yun, You should go back and practice well before coming to Myriad Phenomena Tower. Otherwise, you'll lose face for Cloudwater County. Mu Qingyun said coldly. Oh, why would I lose face for Cloudwater County? Lu Yun couldn't help but ask. Think about it. A proud genius with the second highest talent in Cloudwater County, one of only 2 level 5 innate talents, fails to pass even the first level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Wouldn't that bring shame upon the entire Cloudwater County? If anything, it would be me who loses face, not Cloudwater County. And what does it have to do with you? Lu Yun said calmly before walking past Mu Qingyun and Chun Tianqi towards the direction of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Whoosh! Mu Qingyun suddenly appeared in front of Lu Yun to block his path, sneering, "If you can withstand one move from me, I'll let you enter the Myriad Phenomena Tower." How about that? Ever since the assessment, Mu Qingyun had been harboring dissatisfaction with Lu Yun, but he hadn't found the right opportunity. Now, having just made a breakthrough and encountering Lu Yun in such a place, he naturally wanted to make things difficult for him. "Brother Mu, what are you doing? We're all from Cloudwater County. Don't hurt our harmony." Chun Tianqi stood to the side, watching the drama unfold, arms folded and smiling. "Because we're all from Cloudwater County, I must test his strength." Mu Qingyun chimed in, then looked at Lu Yun, saying, "You can't even handle one move from me, can you? If that's the case, you'd better scram." Lu Yun glanced at Mu Qingyun in front of him, then looked at Chun Tianqi watching the drama from the sidelines, and shook his head slightly, calmly saying, "Do you know what a jumping clown is?" Mu Qingyun was taken aback for a moment, apparently not expecting Lu Yun to remain so calm in the face of his provocations and taunts. "You're saying we're jumping clowns?" Realizing what Lu Yun meant, Mu Qingyun flew into a rage. A jumping clown is someone who barely has some strength, yet acts arrogantly and doesn't recognize the situation, foolishly courting death. Lu Yun's words instantly turned Mu Qingyun's face dark green. "Humph, let's see who the real jumping clown is." Mu Qingyun snorted coldly. His powerful aura, belonging to the intermartial realm, exploded out. He charged at Lu Yun with lightning speed. "Humph, just because you have some talent, you think you're unrivaled." Chun Tianqi's face was gloomy as he coldly watched Lu Yun, waiting to see his humiliation after being defeated by Mu Qingyun. The others also adopted a posture of watching a good show and gathered around too. Mu Qingyun's anger and jealousy erupted in his chest as he rushed in front of Lu Yun, throwing a heavy punch at him. The powerful momentum on his fist surged out, creating an astonishing noise. Boom! Suddenly, there was a muffled groan, and to everyone's amazement, they felt a strong, aggressive aura erupt, followed by Mu Qingyun being sent flying, crashing heavily into the ground more than 10 meters away. His abdomen was slightly caved in, and blood gushed from his mouth. Lu Yun calmly withdrew his right hand, glanced at an astonished Chun Tianqi without saying a single word, and walked away without looking back. Sometimes, a single look could be far more intimidating than any harsh words. Chapter 31, Chapter 31, Chapter 31, Myriad Phenomena Tower. Chapter 31, Chapter 31, Myriad Phenomena Tower. How could he be so strong? Mu Qingyun spat out a mouthful of blood, his eyes seeing stars. He shakily got up from the ground, looking deathly pale. He has already broken through to the Meridian Passage realm, and it's not just a simple breakthrough. Chun Tianqi spoke with lingering fear, recalling Lu Yun's formidable explosive power and speed. He wondered if he could have withstood it. The answer was obviously no. Impossible. Mu Qingyun's face turned ashen as he muttered in a daze. He was only at the entry level of the intermartial realm during the last assessment, and it hasn't even been a month since then. How could he have progressed so quickly? B0XO. Come, you doubt my judgment? Chen Tianqi coldly glanced at him and said, "No." Mu Qingyun couldn't help but shiver when stared at by Chen Tianqi. "Humph, this person isn't someone you or I can afford to offend, so I advise you to give up your little schemes. In addition, from now on, we should go our separate ways." With that, Chen Tianqi turned around and left. In less than a month, Lu Yun had broken through several realms. He wasn't just slightly more talented than Chen Tianqi. Although he was arrogant, he didn't overestimate himself. After realizing the situation, he immediately distanced himself from the short-sighted Mu Qingyun. "I thought it would be an interesting show, but it turned out to be nothing but a farce." Disappointed, the audience sneered at the bewildered Mu Qingyun and left. From the crowd, the handsome Xiao Chen slowly walked out, gazing thoughtfully at Lu Yun's retreating figure. "He has successfully cultivated the pure yang aura." "Ha, junior brother Lu, we meet again." Lu Yun hadn't gone far when a voice came from a nearby location. Following the sound, he saw a round-faced young man approaching. At one glance, he recognized the other party as Duan Qing, the one who had given him the assessment reward last time. Not to mention Lu Yun's memory, Duan Qing's distinctive appearance had left a deep impression on him. Looking at the direction Duan Qing had come from, it seemed he had just left the Myriad Phenomena Tower. "Junior brother Lu, it looks like there's something different about you this time. Have you made a significant breakthrough in your cultivation?" Duan Qing's pudgy face had squinted eyes, sizing up Lu Yun from head to toe. Lu Yun smiled slightly. As he reached the entry level of cultivating the pure yang aura, he produced a faint yet resolute and positive aura. Upon bringing it to a small achievement, the resolute and positive aura had been amplified, allowing Duan Qing to detect some clues. Lu Yun wasn't one to show off. He responded with vague answers for a few sentences before changing the subject. "This is my first time at the Myriad Phenomena Tower, and my knowledge of it comes only from the Disciples' Manual. I wonder if Senior Brother Duan can give me some pointers." As he spoke, Lu Yun looked ahead. The 30-story Myriad Phenomena Tower stood about 30 meters tall in the spacious square. It looked grand and imposing, full of majesty. Next to the Myriad Phenomena Tower stood a massive jade wall. Its surface was as smooth as a mirror, with numerous names shimmering on it. Each name had a number in front of it, ranging from 1 to 108. Duan Qing squinted his eyes and nodded, looking at the Myriad Phenomena Tower as he chuckled. "Hee, this Myriad Phenomena Tower is a spirit artifact, one of the foundations of the Martial Academy. It's a level above treasure artifacts and possesses mysterious and unpredictable abilities, such as the ability to create demon beasts of the 6th rank and below for disciples to battle within." Treasure artifact, spirit artifact, demon beasts? Lu Yun was mildly surprised. He only knew about true artifacts and mysterious instruments, whereas he was clueless about anything above the mysterious instruments. From what Duan Qing had said, it seemed that treasure artifacts were above the mysterious instruments, and spirit artifacts were above the treasure artifacts. In other words, the Myriad Phenomena Tower was several levels higher than the Black Boat. Comparing spirit artifacts, Lu Yun was more curious about demon beasts. The parents of his current body had died in a beast tide, and he held no goodwill towards demon beasts. If he encountered them, he definitely wouldn't show any mercy. However, he had never encountered a demon beast before, having only met a wolf that didn't even qualify as a rank 1 demon beast. During his time in the Martial Academy, he had learned some information about demon beasts. The 9 martial realms were the Enter-Martial Realm, Meridian Passage Realm, True Chi Realm, Transforming Origin Realm, Origin Fluid Realm, Golden Body Realm, Rune Seed Realm, Golden Core Realm, and Heavenly Human Realm. These 9 martial realms corresponded to demon beasts of ranks 1 to 9. In other words, even the weakest rank 1 demon beast was equivalent to a martial artist in the intermartial realm. The Myriad Phenomena Tower could spawn demon beasts equivalent to martial artists in the Golden Body realm, making it exceptionally powerful. Have you seen that jade wall? That's the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall. The people listed on it are the true heavenly prides of the Martial Academy, with their cultivation levels being at least the late stage of the transforming origin realm. The Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall only records the top 108 performers in the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Once you're on that wall, you become a prominent figure in the Flying Spirit Martial Academy and even the entire Spirit Martial Prefecture. My current main goal is to make a name for myself on that wall, and am getting closer and closer to it. Luyan took a look at the chubby young man in front of him. Despite his rotund appearance, he seemed to possess an extraordinary temperament, and even gave Luyan a faint feeling of danger. For someone to make the current Luyan feel a sense of danger, it could only mean that their cultivation was above the Meridian Passage realm. Duan Qing continued. Although the Myriad Phenomena Tower is 30 stories tall, it can actually be divided into 4 levels. The 1st to 10th floors correspond to ordinary disciples and elite disciples. The 11th to 15th floors correspond to the 2nd level, suitable for Star Palace disciples. The 16th to 20th floors correspond to the 3rd level, suitable for Bright Moon Hall disciples. The 21st to 30th floors correspond to the 4th level. Those who can enter the 21st floor have a chance to compete for a ranking on the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall. Luyan tentatively asked, I heard that as long as you pass the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, you not only don't have to attend lectures in the classroom, but also won't have to worry about being expelled from the Martial Academy. Is that true or false? Why go to the classroom after passing the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower and becoming a Star Palace disciple? It's a waste of time. Duan Qing gave Luyan a blank look, seeming to disdain him for asking such an idiotic question. After all, the strength of most Star Hall disciples was not worse than that of ordinary Martial Academy teachers. Luyan's expression shifted slightly. Then, what level of proficiency is required to pass the 10th floor? It's hard to say. Some people can pass the 10th floor while in the True Qi realm, while others need to reach the mid to late stages of the True Qi realm. Like the most talented person in our batch, Meng Hongfei, who passed the 11th floor immediately after breaking through to the True Qi realm, thus becoming a Star Palace disciple. When Duan Qing mentioned Meng Hongfei, his expression became somewhat unnatural. In Luyan's opinion, it contained a mix of envy and complexity. Chapter 32. Chapter 32. Chapter 32. The sword is drawn, demons slaying. Chapter 32. Chapter 32. The sword is drawn, demon slaying. Although Luyan vaguely guessed that there was some story between Duan Qing and Meng Hongfei, he didn't bring it up and instead asked indirectly. One noticed that senior brother's aura is quite vigorous. You should have already advanced to the True Qi realm. Could you pass the 10th floor? Although I have already advanced to the True Qi realm, when one entered the 10th floor, one only lasted for a dozen breaths before being blasted out. Duan Qing said with a wry smile. Luyan couldn't help but glance at Duan Qing again. He had just tried to test him, but he didn't expect to guess correctly. The plump young man before him was indeed at the True Qi realm. Although the demon beasts within the Myriad Phenomena Tower are evolved, their strength isn't much different from real ones, and there's more than one. Oh, Luyan asked in confusion, isn't it one-on-one? B0XO. Come. If it were only one-on-one, one would definitely pass the 10th floor with my strength. The number of demon beasts on each floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower is uncertain. There may be only 1 or even 100, but one thing is certain, The higher the floors, the more terrifying they are, and the difficulty of clearing them is much higher than the previous one. After explaining, Duanqing continued, "Every year, new disciples enter the martial academy, which causes a storm. Many people of your generation have already entered the Myriad Phenomena Tower and caused quite a stir. The most outstanding among them are Ma Yunfei, Xiao Chun, and Bai Haoshuan." Hearing these names, Lu Yun's pupils slightly shrank. Xiao Chun and Ma Yunfei both possess level 5 top-grade innate talent, while Bai Haoshuan has the unique level 6 innate talent, making them the most talented disciples of their generation. Even with Lu Yun's indifferent mindset, he couldn't help but be curious about their Myriad Phenomena Tower achievements. Seeing Lu Yun's expression, Duanqing smiled faintly and didn't plan to hold him in suspense, saying, "Among the three, Bai Haoshuan is the most powerful. 10 days ago, he entered the Myriad Phenomena Tower for the first time and rushed straight to the 7th floor, defeating a second-rank peak demon beast before being blasted out. Xiao Chun and Ma Yunfei were slightly behind, but they also reached the 6th floor, defeating 9 and 7 mid-second ranked demon beasts, respectively. This record has surpassed many veteran elite disciples, causing a great sensation." Upon hearing this, Lu Yun's eyes flickered. Half a month ago, Xiao Chun was only at the early stages of the Meridian Passage realm. After entering the Martial Academy and receiving the rewards, he could have trained up to the middle stages of the Meridian Passage realm at most, yet he managed to reach the 6th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Now, Lu Yun himself was also in the middle stages of the Meridian Passage realm, having cultivated his pure yang true qi to a small achievement. How many floors could he reach? Eager to find out how you compare to the most outstanding heavenly prides, Duanqing said with a playful smile, "I was like you back then, but they are already Star Hall disciples, while one still linger in the elite disciple rankings. Senior brother has already advanced to the true qi realm, so I'm sure the 10th floor won't hold you back for long." Lu Yun complimented him before turning his gaze towards the Myriad Phenomena Tower. His entire disposition suddenly changed, becoming high-spirited. "As for me, 1 a.m. indeed a bit eager to see the strength of the demon beasts on the 6th and 7th floors, and whether they can stop me." With that, Lu Yun quickly disappeared into the Myriad Phenomena Tower under Duanqing's astonished gaze. Lu Yun's voice had been loud, causing many people around to take notice. "Hee, this junior brother is quite arrogant, aiming to get through the 6th or even the 7th floor on his first entry to the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Who does he think he is? It's normal. Most people who enter the Martial Academy for the first time think they're heavenly prides, able to clear 10 floors in a year, 20 in 3 years, and fully pass the Myriad Phenomena Tower in 10. But once they really enter the tower and experience the demon beast's formidable strength themselves, they'll come to terms with the cruel reality and gradually accept their mediocrity." Hearing these mocking words, Duanqing said indifferently, "This junior brother Lu is a level 5 innate talent. Even if he can't pass the 6th floor this time, he'll pass it easily next time." After hearing Duanqing's words, those who had mocked before were stunned and at a loss for words. Nor did they dare to refute. Duanqing was an extraordinary figure, one of the outstanding individuals of the previous generation, now promoted to the true qi realm. In not too long, he would make even more progress, escaping the elite disciple status and becoming a disciple of the Star Hall. Some people with thin skins felt overwhelmed by shame and lowered their heads. Clearly, the level 5 innate talent already belongs to the top-grade talents in the Martial Academy. Instead of mocking others, it's better to watch how they quickly clear stages, use them as motivation to improve yourself, and try to avoid being expelled from the Martial Academy. While speaking, Duanqing's gaze fell upon the names on the Myriad Phenomena jade wall. His eyes almost narrowed into a single line, unable to block the sharpness that emanated from them. The moment he entered the Myriad Phenomena Tower, Lu Yun felt disoriented. The surroundings suddenly changed, and he found himself in a different space. This was a desolate wasteland, with a dark sky shrouded in black clouds, allowing him to see only a few dozen feet around him. Lu Yun could clearly distinguish that this was within the Myriad Phenomena Tower, and it gave him a completely different feeling than the outside world. My body has completely entered the Myriad Phenomena Tower. If I'm not mistaken, a demon beast will appear soon. However, if I can't defeat it, what will be the outcome? Thinking about this, Lu Yun furrowed his brows. Although he knew that nothing would happen even if he failed, he couldn't help but worry. After all, in the Myriad Phenomena Tower, either the demon beast dies, or the challenger perishes. How does the Myriad Phenomena Tower ensure the safety of Martial Academy disciples? Or is the mystery of the spirit artifact far beyond my understanding? At that moment, Lu Yun suddenly emerged from his thoughts and looked straight ahead, where shimmering ripples appeared not far away. Immediately, a huge, blurry figure appeared in the darkness. Judging from its outline, it was much larger than the wild wolf he had previously slain on Cloud Dream Mountain. Lu Yun squinted his eyes, lightly holding the hilt of his blade with his right hand, focusing intently on the shadow. Whoosh! Like a gust of wind whistling by, the shadow's figure rapidly enlarged, and its outline and appearance fully emerged before Lu Yun's eyes. Silver-white fur, scarlet-red eyes, strong limbs, and a massive frame. This was a silver moon wolf demon, pouncing towards Lu Yun at incredible speed. A cold-killing intent and powerful demon energy made it seem like a real demon beast, not an evolution created by the Myriad Phenomena Tower. For most people encountering a demon beast's erupting aura for the first time, they'll likely be scared and won't be able to fully wield 80% of their strength. But Lu Yun was different. He had ventured into Cloud Dream Mountain, killed wild wolves, and also eliminated horse bandits on the way to Cloudwater County. Although he was not even 11 years old, his two experiences, coupled with his previous lives' 20 years of experience, made him fearless. Remaining calm and adjusting his breath, Qi surged from his dantian and rushed through his meridians at the fastest speed, gathering at his long blade. Blade drawn, demon slain. Chapter 33, Chapter 33, Chapter 33, easily crushing. Chapter 33, Chapter 33, easily crushing an aggressive aura as sharp as an arrow, a saber light as bright as the silver moon. Boom. Lu Yun's powerful, pure, young, aggressive aura suppressed the silver moon demon wolf's energy. His saber streaked across like a cold ray, pushing the demon beast back a dozen yards. His body, tempered to the limits of its potential not once, but twice, exploded with speed and strength. He barely moved, his feet flickered like lightning, and he instantly caught up with the demon wolf. His aggressive aura enchanced his saber, easily piercing through the wolf. The demon wolf let out a tragic howl before dissipating into twinkling silver stars and disappearing before Lu Yun. B0XO. Come, I see. Watching the scene unfold before him, Lu Yun's expression turned to comprehension. The demon beasts conjured by the Myriad Phenomena Tower were essentially concentrations of energy. They only took the form of demon beasts without their corresponding strength. For example, the previous demon wolf's energy was extremely weak, easily shattered, and not as ferocious as he imagined. Thus, it could be said that the power level of the monsters inside the Myriad Phenomena Tower was significantly weaker than real, existing monsters. Especially for someone like Lu Yun, who had greatly improved his power, handling these creatures was as easy as chopping vegetables. He could defeat foes with ease without taking the encounter seriously. Of course, this was only easy for Lu Yun. For other new students, The first floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower proved a significant roadblock. It was extremely difficult. Demon beasts were often much stronger than fellow martial artists at the same rank, and even the energy form demon beasts of the Myriad Phenomena Tower were not to be trifled with by an everyday martial artist. If one did not possess exceptional talent or some other means to overcome these monsters, there was only one result: be crushed by demon beasts. The only fortunate thing was that one could not die within the Myriad Phenomena Tower, which allowed many students earnestly trying to climb the Myriad Phenomena Tower's ranks to battle without fear for their lives, drastically increasing their odds of success. After the Silver Moon Demon Wolf dispersed into energy, a transparent wall suddenly appeared before him almost instantly. Lu Yun found this wall familiar. Its shape resembled the outer Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall. The only difference was that instead of numerous names crowded onto it, there was a single instruction on this transparent wall. Having passed the first floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, you are eligible to leave your name here. Lu Yun remained silent. He swung his sword, his aggressive aura erupted, colliding against the wall. He carved the Chinese characters for Lu Yun in a split second. The characters were elegantly written. Lu Yun found it very pleasing to the eye and nodded unconsciously. After that, the characters on the wall changed. They morphed into neat printing. Then, an image of Lu Yun also appeared on the wall. It lasted for about one breath. The wall flickered with ripples, and the name and image of Lu Yun disappeared. Lu Yun was taken aback. He hadn't expected this level of technology. No wonder they say it's a legendary spirit artifact. Although Lu Yun harbored some resistance towards the Myriad Phenomena Tower changing his beautifully crafted autograph, he was prodded to think otherwise. But really, who has the right to object when they find themselves inside another's body? Just at this moment, a swirling vortex, much like a portal, appeared in front of him. Is this the entrance to the next floor? Murmuring to himself, Lu Yun flashed forward and entered the vortex. In the outside world, a large number of people were standing in the broad plaza. Duan Qing was there too, his gaze still fixated on the top of the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall. This area was also part of the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall, responsible for updating in real time the status of those within the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Since there was currently no major movement within the Myriad Phenomena Tower, the current top 10 on the Jade Wall were displayed, and all profiles remained static. The reason Duan Qing was watching this particular area of the Jade Wall was because he knew that there would soon be a change here. Whenever there was a significant disturbance within the Myriad Phenomena Tower, or when a newcomer manages to pass the first layer and leaves their name and image, the current top 10 rankings would be replaced. However, the displayed information would only last briefly, about the time it takes for one breath. If one wishes to maintain their record on display here, they would have to quickly clear the subsequent floors, thereby getting the attention of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. "It's moving!" A disciple who was previously spectating exclaimed when his gaze unwittingly strayed towards the top. He was absolutely gobsmacked. "What's moving? What's moving?" People around him looked at him questioningly, then followed his pointing finger to look in that direction. Their expressions changed immediately, because that inconspicuous area at the top of the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall was displaying a new message. "Congratulations to Lu Yun for passing the first floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower." Almost simultaneously, a second message appeared. "Congratulations to Lu Yun for passing the second floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower." They had all been in the Myriad Phenomena Tower before, and naturally knew the process of passing the first floor, leaving their name and image, and that it took some time. The subsequent Myriad Phenomena Tower floors didn't require any such procedures. It was all about fighting. Lu Yun's information had only just been recorded by the Myriad Phenomena Tower when a message displayed his passing of the second floor, meaning that Lu Yun virtually passed the second floor instantly. If I remember correctly, the second floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower had 10 peak first rank demon beasts. That's correct, 10 peak first rank demon beasts. They are much more terrifying than 4 peak martial artists in the Enter Martial realm. Even beginning level martial artists in the Meridian Passage realm might struggle against them. When I first advanced to the Meridian Passage realm, I was held back by the second floor. Later on, one drained a big chunk of my energy just to defeat those 10 demon beasts and advance to the third floor. Same here, echoed several other voices. The subsequent exclamations left them gasping for breath as their expressions turned to astonishment. Look, Lu Yun has passed the third floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. A youth pointed at the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall in shock. People looked up, and indeed, what awaited them was beyond shocking. Congratulations to Lu Yun for passing the third floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Those letters, so bright and eye-catching, stood still on the jade wall. The plaza was engulfed in dead silence. All the Martial Academy disciples held their breaths as the surrounding air seemed to freeze. So, junior brother Lu Yun is this powerful. Duan Qing's eyes narrowed, the glimmer in his eyes growing stronger. Without any doubt, considering Lu Yun's ability to pass through the third floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower in mere moments, he concluded that Lu Yun certainly had more up his sleeve than just breaking through to the Meridian Passage realm. It will be intriguing to see if you can pass through the 6th or 7th floors. If you manage to pass them, that will be truly interesting. Duan Qing was exceedingly excited and expectant. Inside the Myriad Phenomena Tower, upon first entering the second floor, he was startled by the sudden appearance of 10 demon beasts. However, upon closer inspection, he discovered that they were only peak first rank demon beasts that were easily disposed of. The demon beasts on the third floor were stronger, surpassing not just one level of difficulty. However, they still didn't give Lu Yun much trouble. He hadn't even utilized his pure young aggressive aura and managed to vanquish the 2 early-stage second-rank demon beasts solely with his mediocre breaking wind saber technique. The first floor had a peak first-rank demon beast, the second floor had 10 peak first-rank demon beasts, and the third floor had 2 early second-rank demon beasts. The degree of difficulty has consistently increased. One just wonder, how strong will the demon beasts on the next floor be? Lu Yun shook his head slightly and stepped into the vortex that led to the next floor. Chapter 34. Chapter 34. Chapter 34. The Power of Pure Yang. Chapter 34. Chapter 34. The Power of Pure Yang Aggressive Aura. The moment he entered the 4th layer, Lu Yun's first reaction was to investigate the surrounding environment. It was still a vast wasteland, shrouded in dark clouds and fog, with limited visibility. So far, the environment within the space of the 1st to 4th floors of the Myriad Phenomena Tower was like this. The empty and silent space was filled with black mist slowly drifting, as if the entire 4th floor was gradually moving. B0XO. Kamdada. Lu Yun took a few slow steps forward, and the crisp sound of footsteps echoed in his ears. Suddenly, at this moment, there appeared a dozen pairs of lantern-like red lights in the darkness in the distance, and as Lu Yun scanned them, he held the hilt of his saber tightly in his right hand. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The red lanterns seemed to have spotted Lu Yun and almost simultaneously began to move toward him at high speed. In a short while, the red lanterns gradually became clearer. A pair of fiery red eyes and a massive body were followed by the release of a powerful demon energy. Demon beasts. There were 15 early-stage, second-rank demon beasts. Each of them had a more powerful aura than the two beasts on the third floor, and there were more of them, more than 7 times as many. If an ordinary practitioner in the mid-stage of the Meridian Passage realm encountered such a scene, they would probably be at a loss, daring to fight at most a few to the death. But not Lu Yun, who had yet to reveal his true strength so far. Even he himself didn't have an accurate grasp of the extent that he could reach after a full eruption of his small achievement in pure yang aura. I hope you can hold on a little longer. Looking at the powerful and magnificent momentum of the 15 early-stage second-rank demon beasts, Lu Yun breathed as if shooting arrows, his eyes shining with light, and his strong fighting spirit erupted, sweeping thousands of armies. With a cold snort, Lu Yun's saber was drawn instantly, and the cold light burst out. A crescent-shaped blade light emerged, somehow cutting through the drifting black mist, and the terrifying blade light slashed at the charging demonic beasts. These 15 demon beasts, not only were they huge in size, their limbs were also strong. When they all charged, they were like thousands of troops with an invincible and fierce momentum. However, with the bright and almost extending blade light, they were instantly broken down. Lu Yun flickered and delivered a fierce blow with his saber on one of the demonic beasts. Bang! Raising its sturdy front paw, the demonic beast collided with the descending saber. Crack! Blood splattered, staining the black mist red, followed by red sparks that dotted the dark night sky. With a successful first strike, Lu Yun's figure flickered, his blade flashing. His explosive power, strength, and speed all erupted, greatly increasing his momentum. He was in no way inferior to the sky-reaching demon beasts. His blade light tore through the darkness, extending dozens of feet before finally landing heavily on another demonic beast. Immediately, it was cut into fragments of energy, scattering in the dark night sky, further enhancing the eerie environment with red sparks, breaking thousands of mountains, sweeping the universe. The third-rate saber technique had reached a divine level of perfection in his hands, not at all weaker than any accomplished second-rate martial arts performed by others. One by one, the demonic beasts fell under his saber. About 10 minutes later, not a single demon beast was left on the 4th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. With his saber in hand, Lu Yun stood there, his blood and chi slightly agitated, silently looking at the red scene before him. The Myriad Phenomena Tower really is extraordinary, with only the 4th floor's difficulty already rising to such a level. Lu Yun had some slight admiration in his heart. He knew clearly that the reason he could so easily kill more than 10 early-stage second-rank demon beasts was mainly due to the fact that he had raised his mixed origin technique to the perceived truth realm, breaking the limits of his body nearly twice, forming an incomparably strong foundation, making things seem easier than they were. But at the same time, it also showed the strict demands of the martial academy on its disciples. Without reaching the middle or late stage of the Meridian Passage realm, it would be impossible to pass the 4th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Myriad Phenomena Tower's 5th floor. This floor had only 5 demon beasts, but their demon energy and pressure surpassed those on the previous floor by several times no less. These are mid-stage second-rank demonic beasts. Among them, one black bear demonic beast had an even more terrifying aura and pressure, almost reaching the limit of the second rank's middle stage. With just one glance, Lu Yun knew that merely this black bear demonic beast could crush the 15 demon beasts on the 4th floor. And on the 5th floor, besides the black bear demonic beast, there were 4 other mid-stage second-rank demonic beasts that were not much less formidable. It is clear that the difficulty of passing this 5th floor is enormously high. It seems like relying solely on the breaking wind saber technique to pass this floor will be somewhat difficult. Mid-stage second-rank demonic beasts have both more powerful strength and physical toughness than early-stage second-rank demonic beasts. The sword in his hand is the most ordinary weapon, not much more powerful than a kitchen knife. If it wasn't for the fact that it was Lu Yun using it, skillfully employing force while fighting demon beasts, and using the aggressive aura to protect it, the blade would have been completely ruined in the first or second floor. He glanced at the blade in his hand, and sure enough, there was already a shallow crack. A weapon is also a part of one's strength. It seems I have to find an opportunity to get a more suitable weapon. Lu Yun withdrew the aggressive aura wrapped around the blade, and with a click, the blade split into two pieces and fell to the ground with a clang. He shook his head slightly, set aside the other half of the blade, and his mind stirred. In a flash, his whole body was enveloped in a dazzling white light curtain, like the rising sun illuminating the dark world. This was the nature of the pure yang aggressive aura, extremely firm and yang, with a pure and powerful strength that gave a sense of brightness and reliability. Roar! The black bear demonic beast roared, swiping its broad and sturdy bear paw with a powerful force, sweeping away the black fog and continuing its strength toward Lu Yun. After breaking through the limits of his body twice, Lu Yun's physique was far stronger than his peers, similar to 14 or 15-year-old teenagers. But now, it wasn't much bigger than the bear's paw. Confronting the wide, thick, and powerful bear paw, Lu Yun didn't retreat, responding with a palm strike. Bang! The two palms collided, like a sledgehammer hitting an egg. But the sledgehammer was a real sledgehammer, unstoppable, while the egg was not a real egg. Both the strong blood energy and the small achievement pure yang true qi erupted simultaneously. The mighty force shook the massive body of the black bear, causing it to violently retreat, leaving a black mark on its sturdy bear paw. It was a mark left by the scorching force of the pure yang true qi. Roar dash, feeling the intense pain on its bare paw, the black bear swung its strong arms forcefully, pounding on its chest. As it pounded, the fur on its body stood on end, and the demon energy and pressure it emitted became even more powerful, increasingly closer to the second rank's late stage. Die for me! Following that, Lu Yun roared, and the vast pure yang aggressive aura burst forth like a violent river. With this punch, he not only unleashed the full power of his physique, but also covered his fist with the entire pure yang aggressive aura, looking like a small sun. The terrifying fist shattered everything in its path, unstoppable, and left nothing behind. Chapter 35. Chapter 35. Chapter 35. Outburst. Chapter 35. Chapter 35. Outburst shoot the rider before the horse, kill the demon king first. Lu Yun naturally understood this, so he targeted the most powerful black bear demon first. With his powerful strength and explosive vitality, combined with the might of pure yang aura, the black bear demon didn't have a chance to fully go berserk before it was killed by Lu Yun's punch. Then his figure flashed, and he appeared beside another second-rank middle-stage demonic beast, unleashing his unrivaled and domineering fist. In a one-on-one situation, Lu Yun utterly overwhelmed his opponents, using his powerful strength and aggressive pure yang aura to forcefully crush the demonic beast to death. B0XO. Calm after taking down the second middle-stage demonic beast, his vitality surged to its peak, his battle intent steadily reaching its zenith, and his sharp eyes locked onto the remaining 3 demonic beasts. It's too easy. Compared to the black bear, which was very close to the second-rank late stage, the remaining demonic beasts were far too easy for Lu Yun to handle. As expected, in a situation where he held an absolute crushing advantage, Lu Yun only needed to unleash 6 or 7 punches at full power to scatter the remaining 3 middle-stage demonic beasts. After the battle ended, the only effects he was showing were his blood energy surging and his breathing being slightly more rapid. It wasn't that the middle-stage demonic beasts were weak, it was just that Lu Yun was too strong. After steadying his breath, he looked at the vortex gate that appeared before him and entered without hesitation. Upon his entry into the 6th floor, 10 demonic beasts appeared before him. Lu Yun's eyes flickered, and an unprecedented solemn expression appeared on his face. The oppressive aura emitted by these demonic beasts was much stronger than that of the Black Bear demon on the 5th floor. Without a doubt, these were second-rank late-stage demonic beasts. The 6th floor of Myriad Phenomena Tower actually had 10 second-rank late-stage demonic beasts. Lu Yun took a deep breath, knowing that a fierce battle was about to ensue. Although the rank of a second-rank late-stage demonic beast was said to be equivalent to the Meridian Passage Realm late-stage martial artist, its actual strength was far beyond that of a Meridian Passage Realm late-stage martial artist. He was only at the Meridian Passage Realm middle stage, now facing demonic beasts whose strength far exceeded that of Meridian Passage Realm late-stage martial artists, and there were 10 of them. Even with the small achievement of his pure yang aura as a trump card, he had little to no confidence in his heart. Outside the Myriad Phenomena Tower, many people, including Duan Qing, were paying close attention to the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall. Especially after Lu Yun passed through the 2nd and 3rd floors in the shortest amount of time, it caused quite a stir in the area. Those who had just exited the tower or had just arrived, preparing to enter the tower, stopped and prepared to witness the rise of a new disciple. In fact, not only Lu Yun received such treatment. Previously by Hao Xuan, Xiao Chun, and Ma Yunfei had also caused quite a sensation, especially when Lu Yun passed the 3rd floor and then quickly passed the 4th. Even more people were attracted. Most of these disciples had been stuck in the 6th or 7th floor of Myriad Phenomena Tower for a long time, and if they couldn't make a breakthrough anytime soon, they would soon be expelled from the Martial Academy. Therefore, as long as their strength showed even a little improvement, they would head to the tower, hoping to ascend to a higher level. Because of this, they were quite familiar with the Myriad Phenomena Tower's events and enjoyed joining in the excitement. It moved again. Everyone's eyes lit up looking at the updated information on the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall, utterly astonished. A few people were even more exaggerated, as if they were Lu Yun themselves. Seeing the news that Lu Yun had passed the 5th floor, Duan Qing was also slightly surprised. If one recall correctly, the 5th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower has 5 middle-stage demonic beasts, with one being extremely close to the 2nd-rank late stage. From the moment Lu Yun entered the 5th floor until now, it has been only 10 minutes. That is to say, Lu Yun passed the 5th floor of Myriad Phenomena Tower with an absolutely crushing strength. If he could show an absolute crushing strength against 2nd-rank middle-stage demonic beasts on the 5th floor, what level had Lu Yun's realm reached, and how powerful had he become? The more Duan Qing thought about it, the more shocked he felt. After all, Lu Yun was a new disciple. This Lu Yun is indeed terrifying. In a short time, he has passed the first 5 levels of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. When I was on the 5th floor, one used every means at my disposal and paid an almost desperate price to finally kill those 5 demonic beasts and pass the 5th floor. A late-stage Meridian Passage Realm Martial Academy disciple side. Only those who had personally entered the tower knew the difficulty of the Myriad Phenomena Tower's 5th floor, which stopped many middle and late-stage Meridian Passage Realm disciples for a long time. If it weren't for the fact that one wouldn't truly die within the tower, there would be even fewer people who could pass it. This was indeed the magic of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. What do you think, will this junior brother Lu Yun fall like Xiao Chun and Ma Yunfei on the 6th floor, or, like the 6-star innate talent by Hao Xuan, step into the 7th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower? Just as everyone was shocked by Lu Yun's quick completion of the 5th floor, a keen disciple suddenly spoke out loud. As soon as this remark was made, it immediately attracted the interest of many people. One of the Peak Meridian Passage Realm Martial Academy's disciples confidently said, "Junior brother Lu Yun was able to pass the first 5 floors so quickly, which undoubtedly proves his potential and strength. However, as for whether he can pass the 6th floor, I'm not holding out much hope. Indeed, the geniuses like Shao Chun and Ma Yunfei, who possess terrifying abilities to fight beyond their levels, ultimately failed on the 6th floor. Not to mention Lu Yun, whose reputation was not that outstanding before. I also think that Lu Yun's chances of passing the 6th floor are slim unless he takes more time to grow. Everyone chimed in, unanimously expressing their disbelief that Lu Yun could pass through the 6th floor of Myriad Phenomena Tower. Not to mention the others, even Duan Qing, who had high expectations of Lu Yun, did not hold much confidence in his heart. Compared to the 5th floor, the difficulty of the 6th floor did not increase simply by several times, but by more than 10 times or more. On the 6th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, Lu Yun did not have the leisure to join in the excitement like the people outside. He was currently struggling to deal with the 10 second-rank late-stage demonic beasts. No wonder even Shao Qin fell on the 6th floor. The difficulty of passing is indeed high. Lu Yun had heard of Shao Chen's achievements. He had once killed Meridian Passage realm martial artists when he was at Enter Martial Realm, and his swordsmanship aptitude was outstanding, with the most powerful offensive moves. Yet even a swordsmanship genius like him could not pass this floor, which was enough to attest to its difficulty. There was too significant a gap between second-rank middle stage and second-rank late-stage demonic beasts. Furthermore, there were 10 of them. If it were merely 1 or 2, Lu Yun estimated that he could cope with them with a bit of effort. But with 10 of them, Lu Yun was frustrated. He had just intended to take advantage of the chaos and eliminate one of the demonic beasts first, but the other 9 demonic beasts did not give him that opportunity, swarming him and forcing him to give up. I'm ultimately lacking strong offensive techniques. This time, Lu Yun didn't hold back at all. He started to go all out. All 4 of his meridians simultaneously unleashed their aggressive auras, and the vast and surging pure yang aura was released without any inhibition. Chapter 36. Chapter 36. Chapter 36. The final results. Chapter 36. Chapter 36. The final results. Lu Yun was besieged by 10 late-stage, second-rank demon beasts at the same time, and although his pure yang aura was powerful, it appeared to be insufficient. However, he refused to admit defeat easily, and was determined not to fall at the 6th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Thus, he kept moving amidst the demon beasts' attacks, releasing bursts of powerful, aggressive aura, and striking back constantly. By the end, he didn't bother dodging or retreating, opting for a wound-for-wound strategy. After killing the 5th demon beast, Lu Yun had already suffered severe injuries, and his aggressive aura had been significantly depleted, putting a strain on his body. Nevertheless, he gritted his teeth and continued to release his aggressive aura recklessly. B0XO. Calm after killing the 6th demon beast, his injuries got even worse. After killing the 7th demon beast, Lu Yun could barely stand. Upon killing the 8th demon beast, his energy was completely exhausted. In the end, he could do nothing but watch the powerful claws of the demon beast attacking him. At that moment, Lu Yun felt as if he was facing real death. But at the very last moment, time seemed to stop and a ray of light appeared around him, followed by a strong repulsive force. Huff! Lu Yun opened his eyes and realized he was no longer in the Myriad Phenomena Tower with many eyes on him. Hee, junior brother Lu, how did it feel to die? Duan Qing came over, curiously looking at Lu Yun. Lu Yun remained silent, recalling the last scene in the Myriad Phenomena Tower. It had to be said, the Myriad Phenomena Tower was truly amazing. At the last moment, he really believed that he was going to die under the sharp claws of the demon beast, even thinking that he would die for real. At that moment, he was genuinely terrified. Everyone was afraid of death, especially Lu Yun, who possessed cheats. Fortunately, in the end, he was expelled from the Myriad Phenomena Tower. However, one thing was certain. Everything he had experienced in the Myriad Phenomena Tower was real and not an illusion. What confused him was that his injuries had healed, but the aggressive aura in his dantian was still depleted. Looking at Duan Qing, Lu Yun asked, "Senior Brother Duan, do you know why our injuries were instantly healed after we left the Myriad Phenomena Tower? What's the situation?" Duan Qing's eyes lit up as he looked at the Myriad Phenomena Tower, and he sighed. Spirit artifacts have spirits, and everything in the Myriad Phenomena Tower is controlled and manipulated by the tower's spirit. The demon beasts there are created by the tower spirit using energy. They can seriously injure you, but not kill you. Furthermore, the tower spirit possesses mysterious and unfathomable healing abilities. Those seemingly gruesome injuries are nothing to the tower's spirit. Of course, these injuries are only applicable to those caused by the demon beasts formed by energy within the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Lu Yun nodded slightly. Possessing such a powerful ability was more than enough to demonstrate how incredible the Myriad Phenomena Tower was. If it could heal other injuries as well, then the Myriad Phenomena Tower would be more than just a simple spirit artifact. Junior Brother Lu, how many demon beasts did you kill on the 6th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower? Duan Qing suddenly asked. I only managed to kill 8 demon beasts, using my full strength. Am deeply ashamed. Recalling his arrogant words before entering the Myriad Phenomena Tower, and the results now, Lu Yun couldn't help but feel too arrogant, although a significant reason for this was his lack of suitable martial arts and weapons. But failure is failure, and Lu Yun was aware of that. Duan Qing smiled bitterly. Entering the 6th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower on your first attempt and killing 8 late-stage, second-ranked demon beasts puts you among the top 3 of all newcomers. Lu Yun shook his head. He had the panel, could use energy points to increase cultivation speed, but only managed to barely rank in the top 3 among the newcomers. How could he be satisfied with this? He looked up at the 108 people on the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall, and there wasn't the slightest sense of pride or satisfaction in his heart. Junior Brother Lu, now that you've passed the first 5 levels of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, you've earned quite a few contribution points. What do you plan to do with them? Duan Qing clapped Lu Yun on the shoulders, his eyes narrowing into slits. Contribution points. Lu Yun smiled bitterly. If it weren't for Senior Brother reminding me, one would have almost forgotten about them. After saying that, he took out his Identity Jade token from his bosom and checked it, frowning as he did so. Only 380 contribution points. Is the reward from the Myriad Phenomena Tower really that small? That's actually quite a lot. In the Martial Academy, contribution points are very valuable. More than 300 contribution points can almost be exchanged for a top-tier martial art. Duan Qing glared at Lu Yun and continued, among people like you who just entered the academy not long ago, there are only a few who possess such a large amount of contribution points. Lu Yun rolled his eyes, knowing that it was only enough to exchange for a martial art, and not even a top-tier one at that. Duan Qing smiled nonchalantly. Hee, I see that Junior Brother Lu is not bad. I'll tell you some news. In the Martial Academy, you can only accumulate more resources by turning all the resources you have into your own strength. Lu Yun grinned, fully agreeing with this statement. I currently only have one top-tier martial art, and it's not even a combat-oriented one. One planned to go to the Cultivation Technique Pavilion to take a look. Senior Brother Duan, would you like to come with me? That's exactly what one was thinking. Duan Qing gladly agreed. He had just broken through to the true Qi realm recently and hadn't had time to acquire new martial arts. Now that Lu Yun invited him, it was just what he wanted. Under the watchful gazes of the crowd, the two happily left the Myriad Phenomena Tower. It Wasn't until the two figures disappeared from sight that everyone else took a deep breath, exchanged glances, and began to discuss among themselves. The content was mainly two things. First, they praised and admired Lu Yun for his achievements on the 6th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower on his first attempt. Second, they said that Lu Yun only spoke big words and that his actual strength was just average. However, most people belonged to the former group, and those who ridiculed Lu Yun didn't necessarily mean to do so. Most of them were just jealous and had to say something to put Lu Yun down. In the valley where the elite disciples lived, in one of the courtyards, a handsome young man was sitting cross-legged, practicing with his eyes closed. From his body emanated a vast and astonishing true chi fluctuation, which was very imposing. This young man was Bai Haoxuan, the only one among the new disciples with a level 6 innate talent. His cultivation had already reached the late Meridian Passage realm, surpassing many veteran elite disciples. Finally, the 8th meridian is unblocked. Bai Haoxuan opened his eyes, exhaling like an arrow, his breath astonishing. Last time, I failed on the 7th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower because one had only unblocked 7 meridians. Now that I've unblocked another meridian, my strength has increased significantly. After some time, I'll try again and surely defeat those 2 demon beasts. Thinking of this, a satisfied smile appeared on Bai Haoxuan's face. He believed that as long as he passed the 7th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, he would be able to cement the gap between himself and other newcomers and be noticed by the higher-ups of the Martial Academy. Chapter 37, Chapter 37, Chapter 37, 7 Kills Saber Technique. Chapter 37, Chapter 37, 7 Kills Saber Technique. Bang. At this moment, a young man hurriedly pushed open the gate and rushed in. What's the rush? It's so undignified, Bai Haoxuan said, displeased. Then he asked what happened. Catching his breath and organizing his thoughts, the young man calmly answered, Senior Brother Bai, Lu Yun reached the 6th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower and killed 8 demon beasts, ranking just below Xiao Chun. The 6th floor? Bai Haoxuan couldn't help but glance at the person skeptically, saying disdainfully, It's just the 6th floor, nothing more. It's not bad, but isn't that just it? Is it worth the fuss? In his opinion, even if Lu Yun had killed 8 demon beasts on the 6th floor, it still wasn't as good as Ma Yunfei's achievement. B0XO. Although Ma Yunfei had only killed 7 demon beasts, it should be noted that his record was set 10 days ago. With Ma Yunfei's talent, if he entered the Myriad Phenomena Tower again today, even if he couldn't clear the 6th floor, killing 8 or 9 demon beasts would be a piece of cake. Of course, Lu Yun can't compare with Senior Brother Bai. However, among the many new junior brothers, he is definitely one of the top few possessing great potential. It might be worthwhile to consider drawing him to our side. The young man explained, There's no need. People with such high pride and arrogance will not submit to others. There's no need to waste time on them. Bai Haoxuan paused briefly and continued, Your reminder is not bad. Lu Yun is indeed a person worth noting, but there is no need to waste time trying to win him over. What you need to focus on are disciples with level 3 top-grade innate talent or level 4 ordinary innate talent. They are at an intermediate level in the Martial Academy and are relatively easier to win over. Hearing this, the young man's eyes lit up, and he said admiringly, Senior Brother Bai is truly wise. 1A am far behind. Ignoring the flattery, Bai Haoxuan waved his hand and said, All right, you may leave. Not long after, Lu Yun and Duan Qing arrived at the Cultivation Technique Pavilion. The Cultivation Technique Pavilion was one of the Martial Academy's important places, with elders guarding it year-round. A new disciple. In the Cultivation Technique Pavilion, a white-robed elder glanced at Lu Yun's disciples' uniform and said indifferently, "Identity token. Newcomers to the cultivation technique pavilion need to register their information," which Duan Qing had already told Lu Yun about on their way there. So Lu Yun took out his identity token right away. After receiving Lu Yun's token, the elder quickly returned it without doing anything else. The elder glanced at Lu Yun and said indifferently, "You are currently in the middle stage of the Meridian Passage realm, so you can only enter the first floor of the Cultivation Technique Pavilion." Lu Yun nodded. Junior understands. Disciples below the True Qi realm can only enter the first floor of the Cultivation Technique Pavilion. On the first floor, there are second-rate martial arts and first-rate martial arts, suitable for disciples in the Enter Martial Realm and Meridian Passage realm to practice. The second floor contains various superior martial arts. As for the third floor, it no longer houses martial arts, but instead holds cultivation techniques. Cultivation techniques are a level above martial arts and can only be found in places like the Martial Academy. In smaller places like Cloudwater County, the appearance of a single cultivation technique would cause a huge sensation. "All right, you may enter." With the old man's permission, Lu Yun and Duan Qing entered the Cultivation Technique Pavilion. "Junior brother Lu Yun, you killed 8 late-stage Level 2 demon beasts on the 6th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. I thought you were at least in the late stage of the Meridian Passage realm, but I didn't expect you to be only in the middle stage," Duan Qing joked. "It's just a bit of luck." Lu Yun gave a light smile. Lu Yun's realm was very stable, and he was able to conceal his aura quite well. It was normal for Duan Qing, along with other True Qi realm martial artists, not able to see his true cultivation level unless they were much more powerful. Duan Qing inwardly sighed. Considering it luck, then all the Martial Academy disciples should rely on luck to pass the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Since Lu Yun's target was the first floor of the Cultivation Technique Pavilion, and Duan Qing intended to go to the second floor, the two chatted casually for a while before parting ways. Entering the first floor of the Cultivation Technique Pavilion, there were not many people. Lu Yun only saw a few scattered Martial Academy disciples, which made him puzzled. Logically, a place like the Cultivation Technique Pavilion with numerous cultivation techniques and martial arts should attract martial artists as much as the Myriad Phenomena Tower. However, the fact was the opposite. The Myriad Phenomena Tower was bustling with people coming and going, while the Cultivation Technique Pavilion had few visitors. Could it be that other Martial Academy disciples do not lack martial arts? Putting aside his doubts, Lu Yun took a deep breath and walked towards one of the bookshelves. There were many martial arts secret manuals on the first floor of the Cultivation Technique Pavilion, densely packed on large bookshelves. To find a suitable one among such a vast collection of martial arts secret manuals would undoubtedly take a lot of time. Lu Yun wasn't in a hurry, so he began to select one by one. Shocking Wave Fist, Terrifying Wave Palm, Wind God Leg, Wild Wind Saber, Shadowless Instant Step, Meteor Butterfly Sword. All kinds of martial art secret manuals dazzled Lu Yun. Anyway, the Cultivation Technique Pavilion doesn't have a time limit. I might as well memorize the martial arts and add them to the panel. Then I wouldn't need to spend contribution points. Thinking of this, Lu Yun couldn't help but feel excited. If this idea could be realized, he would make a fortune. Additionally, he would never lack martial arts or cultivation techniques in the future. Swish! Lu Yun casually picked up a martial arts manual, Cloud Flipping Rain Sword. The sword is like a white cloud, ever-changing and like a torrential rain, filled with unpredictability and complexity. This was a first-rate martial art, and the cultivation difficulty was average. With a desire to give it a try, Lu Yun began to flip through the pages. Lu Yun was stunned. as this martial art had a seal on it, preventing him from continuing to read it. In disbelief, he picked up another martial art manual, skipping the description on the front and directly trying to read the content behind. Undoubtedly, the result was the same. He couldn't read further. What a pity! Now, Lu Yun finally understood why there was no time limit in the Cultivation Technique Pavilion. The martial arts in the Cultivation Technique Pavilion could only have their basic descriptions read, and the contents were inaccessible. Actually, it was normal. If the martial arts in the Cultivation Technique Pavilion could be viewed freely, then the exchange of contribution points would be meaningless. After his unattainable desire had been thoroughly extinguished, Lu Yun finally calmed down and began to seriously choose martial arts. Half an hour later, as expected of the Martial Academy's Cultivation Technique Pavilion, not only are the martial arts vast and numerous, but they are also diverse, making it difficult to choose just one. Lu Yun sighed inwardly after flipping through numerous martial arts. However, he currently had only 380 contribution points and could only exchange them for one martial art. So, he needed to choose the most suitable one. Even though he had spotted several heart-stirring martial arts, he had resisted the temptation. If only I had more contribution points. Lu Yun felt a little unwilling in his heart, and at the same time, he longed for contribution points even more. Suddenly, Lu Yun's gaze landed on a martial art manual on the bookshelf. What drew his attention to this martial art manual was that its texture and material were slightly different from the others, and its pages were yellowed, making it appear even more ancient. Lu Yun walked forward and picked up the yellowed martial art manual. The title on it read, 7 Kills Saber Technique. Chapter 38. Chapter 38. Chapter 38. Killing Life, Killing Self. Chapter 38. Chapter 38. Killing Life, Killing Self. The 7 Kill Saber Technique is a saber art that utilizes killing to halt killing. The essence of this technique is the chop, and it nurtures warfare with killing. The stronger the killing intent, the more powerful it becomes, with the ability to surpass ranks when in battle. To cultivate it to perfection, one needs a monstrous understanding and a stroke of luck. 7 Kill Saber Technique. Lu Yun muttered softly, unable to hide the shock in his eyes. If it weren't for the seal's restrictive power, he would have impatiently added it to his panel. B0XO. Others might not be able to cultivate it to perfection due to not having the aptitude or opportunity. But Lu Yun was different. If he had enough energy points, he could even elevate it to another level. The idea of comprehending the killing concept made Lu Yun's eyes virulently excited. As long as he comprehends the killing concept. No, just by successfully cultivating the 7 Kill Saber Technique, it would be easy to kill the 10 second-rank late-stage demon beasts on the 6th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. After deciding on the 7 Kill Saber Technique, Lu Yun lost interest in other martial arts and resolutely turned to leave the Cultivation Technique Pavilion. 7 Kill Saber Technique. The elder in white robes responsible for overseeing the Cultivation Technique Pavilion furrowed his eyebrows at what Lu Yun had selected, although he didn't say more. His duty was only protecting the Cultivation Technique Pavilion. The selection and decisions of the Martial Academy students were none of his concern. Your identification token. Lu Yun handed over his identification token as well. He then saw the elder glance at the token, give a slight nod, and then walk into a separated compartment behind him, taking the martial arts and identification token with him. A few breaths later, he walked back out, handing Lu Yun back his martial arts and identification token, and said in a flat voice, "Within half a month, regardless of whether or not you successfully cultivate it, you must return it to the Cultivation Technique Pavilion." "Understood," Lu Yun responded, and then left directly after accepting both the martial arts and his identification token. After leaving the pavilion, Lu Yun checked the martial arts and identification token one after another to see if they had any changes. Firstly, the original 380 contribution points on the identification token had been reduced to only 30 points. Secondly, he didn't know what means the elder in white robes had used to remove the seal on the 7-kill saber technique manual, but he was now able to flip more pages of it. This technique is quite handy. Lu Yun mumbled as he scanned through the 7-kill saber technique. As he was leaving the cultivation technique pavilion, a chubby silhouette abruptly appeared. He clapped his hand on Lu Yun's shoulder and complained, "Junior brother Lu, you have finally come out." Lu Yun closed the 7-kill saber technique manual in his hand and glared at it, complaining, "Can you not appear out of nowhere like that? You almost gave me a heart attack." Duan Qing laughed lightly, his gaze sneakily peeking at the secret manual in Lu Yun's hands. "I see that junior brother Lu is beaming. Did you manage to find the martial art you fancied? I had some good luck today. One spent 350 contribution points, but am quite satisfied with this martial art." As he spoke, Lu Yun played with the martial arts manual, revealing the words 7-kill saber technique to Duan Qing. Duan Qing slapped Lu Yun on his back and began speaking earnestly. "Junior brother Lu, one can't tell if you were lucky or unlucky, but you actually chose the saber technique. What's wrong with the 7-kill saber technique? I think it's quite good." Lu Yun replied nonchalantly, "The 7-kill saber technique is indeed good. It can even be said to be the best martial art in the first layer of the cultivation technique pavilion." Having spoken this far, Duan Qing paused before continuing, "But it's also the most dangerous martial art. Many talented students from the martial academy, impressed by the power of the 7-kill saber technique, have chosen this martial art in their early days. At first, a good number of them managed to enter the entry level, and their respective strengths improved significantly due to it, even enabling them to fight beyond their level, and they achieved quite a reputation. But because this saber technique depends on stopping killing with killing, and in turn nurturing warfare with killing, the later it gets, the harder it gets to cultivate. Most people have to abandon it midway and begin cultivating other martial arts. A small portion of people with remarkable talents, among which were some Heavenly Pride students with level 6 innate talent, could continue improving their 7-kill saber technique, and even cultivated it to perfection, on the verge of comprehending the legendary concept, the killing conception. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun showed an expression of anticipation and eagerly asked, "Has anyone successfully comprehended the killing conception?" Duan Qing shook his head with a bitter smile. The 7-kill saber technique, which uses killing to stop killing and nourishes combat with killing, relies on killing intent as its fundamental source. The more beings it kills, the stronger the killing intent, the more terrifying its combat power becomes. When the killing intent accumulates to its peak and transforms into a killing conception, then the conceptual understanding naturally appears. Unfortunately, it's the killing intent that brings about their success and also their downfall. Those who have cultivated the 7-kill saber technique to the great accomplishment realm have all ultimately been backfired by the killing intent. If the consequences are light, they fall into a state of mania and their meridians become useless. If consequences are severe, they perish. 7 and 7 kill actually imply the killing of beings and killing oneself. Sighing, Duan Qing somberly advised, "Junior brother Lu, please be prudent, very prudent, and even more prudent regarding this martial art." Lu Yun didn't focus on the dangers of cultivating 7-kill saber technique, but asked with curiosity, if this martial art is so dangerous and no one has ever successfully comprehended its concept, why would the Martial Academy place it in the cultivation technique pavilion? Duan Qing explained, if something exists, there's a rationale behind it. The Martial Academy placed it in the Cultivation Technique Pavilion for its own considerations, which include testing the disciples' mindset. The specifics are not something we can surmise. Hearing this, Lu Yun nodded. Although Duan Qing's guess was slightly partial, there was indeed some truth to it. The Martial Academy trains their disciples not just to achieve a high realm, they also require powerful strength, firm determination, and the ability to take responsibility for their own choices, even if it's a matter of life and death. If one just seeks powerful strength and disregards the danger of the 7-kill saber technique, such a disciple will perish due to other reasons in the future, no matter how high their talent is. Junior brother Lu, I know you're a headstrong person and have complete faith in your talent, but one must say one last thing: temporary strength is transient, and this transient strength is even fraught with immense danger. Having said his piece, this was Duan Qing's final advice to Lu Yun. Thank you, senior brother, one will bear that in mind. Lu Yun cordially replied, and then subtly shifted the topic. I saw senior brother have quite a few body-tempering pills last time. Do you have any left now? Duan Qing was palatable taken back, and then shook his head. Body-tempering pills are only useful for martial artists in the enter-martial realm. Junior brother is already in the middle phase of the Meridian Passage realm. Only Meridian pills would be of use now. If junior brother needs some, I still happen to have some left. Previously, Duan Qing had accumulated many Meridian pills in order to break through the true Qi realm. After breaking through, he still had some leftovers and was thinking about just the right opportunity to deal with them. This time, he was waiting for Lu Yun not only to foster their relationship, but also with the intention of dealing with the leftover Meridian pills. Meridian pills are fine too. It's just that one now only have 30 contribution. No problem, no problem. I can give you the Meridian pills first, and you can pay me back when you have more contribution points. Is that okay? It's definitely not okay for others, but for the relationship between you and me, of course it is. With that, Duan Qing took out 2 porcelain bottles from his bosom, eyes narrowed in a smile, and said, These 2 bottles of Meridian pills, one will give junior brother Lu a friendly price, 200 contribution points. Thank you, senior brother. Chapter 39, Chapter 39, Chapter 39. Saber technique accomplished, killing intent emerges. Chapter 39, Chapter 39. Saber technique accomplished, killing intent emerges without any hesitation. Lu Yun accepted Duan Qing's kindness and didn't even have a trace of doubt in his heart. Such a good opportunity. To hesitate would be even worse than a beast. Lu Yun despised those worse than beasts in his heart, and naturally he wouldn't do something that would make him one of them. After parting with Duan Qing, Lu Yun resumed studying the 7-kill saber technique. Although the 7-kill saber technique was an incredibly powerful martial art, it didn't have too much content and only took Lu Yun half an hour to deeply memorize it. B0XO. Calm, of course. It was also recorded on his panel. If he wasn't afraid of being discovered, he could even return it to the Cultivation Technique Pavilion right away. Afterward, he went to the Weaponry Hall at the Internal Affairs Hall to exchange for a weapon. The weapon was still a long saber, not a true artifact, but forged from fine iron, which was much more durable and sharper than the one he brought from the Spirit Creek village. Back at the small courtyard, Lu Yun took out the 2 porcelain bottles containing the Meridian pills right away. Each of the small porcelain bottles contained 10 pills, totaling 20 in all. I wonder how many energy values a single Meridian pill can provide. Lu Yun weighed the translucent pill in his hand, examining it carefully, and his face gradually broke into a smile. A short while later, he refreshingly popped the pill into his mouth and swallowed it down. Just as expected, the Meridian pill was far more advanced than the body-tempering pill, silky and smooth like jade, with excellent taste. Not long after swallowing it, the long silent panel began to show changes. plus 8 energy values, plus 8 energy values. Without any hesitation, Lu Yun swallowed all 20 meridian pills, and every time the panel refreshed with new energy values, he felt an indescribable sense of satisfaction. Finally, the 2 porcelain bottles were empty and thrown carelessly into a corner by Lu Yun, and his attention was focused on the refreshed panel. Name: Lu Yun Influence, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Martial Arts, Breaking Wind Saber Technique, Perfection cannot be improved. Mix Origin Technique, Perceived Truth cannot be improved. Pure Yang Aura, Small Achievement 1%. 7 Kill Saber Technique, Pre-Entry. Innate Talent, Level 5 Martial Arts, Meridian Passage Realm, Middle Stage for Meridians. Energy Value, 163. Energy value increased by 160, and also added the 7 Kill Saber Technique. Lu Yun was very satisfied with today's harvest. By passing the first 5 floors of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, he obtained a total of 380 contribution points. Afterward, he exchanged these contribution points for martial arts and weapons, which were very beneficial for his own strength improvement, indirectly increasing his own power. Therefore, Lu Yun came to a conclusion. Challenging the Myriad Phenomena Tower was a means to improve his strength. Of course, this strength improvement wasn't instantaneous. It required conversion, with the panel being the key. Now, on the panel, there were 2 martial arts that could be improved: Pure Yang Aura and 7 Kill Saber Technique. Pure Yang Aura focused on internal cultivation, which was the foundation of martial arts. The 7 Kill Saber Technique focuses on the external and is the primary guarantee of his strength. The importance of the 2 is almost the same. Now that the Pure Yang Aura has achieved a small achievement, there is no need to improve it for the time being. Begin. Lu Yun took a deep breath and directly invested 10 energy points into the 7 Kill Saber Technique. Consume 10 energy points. 7 Kill Saber Technique upgraded to entry level 1%. Suddenly, a cold and chilling aura was born and released from within his body, wrapping around and permeating throughout his body. Although the aura was relatively thin, Lu Yun could clearly feel the bone-chilling cold and frostiness. This coldness was not due to a change in temperature, but the killing intent, which, though very weak, was the first trace of killing intent that formed when the 7 Kill Saber Technique was cultivated to the entry level. It was the purest killing intent. This purest killing intent began to attack Lu Yun's undefended body. Cold, painful, trembling, with every attack of the killing intent, Lu Yun could deeply feel the bone-chilling pain. As the killing intent invaded, his body slowly adapted, and the pain gradually eased. At this moment, a strange memory appeared in his mind. A figure completely black and with an unrecognizable face, wearing a bamboo hat and holding a saber, stood before him. Blood-red sabers, bloody roads, corpses everywhere, and martial artists slowly approaching from all directions. This scene disappeared in a flash and was replaced by another scenario. In the silent, rain-soaked night, in the gray-black forest, a man and his saber slowly appeared in view. His cold and solitary figure gradually deepened in Lu Yun's mind, but he could never completely see it clearly. As the figure gradually approached, a memory as cold as a chilling stream emerged in Lu Yun's mind, as if it were an innate memory without any abruptness. Consume 10 energy points. 7 Kill Saber Technique upgraded to entry level 51%. Consume 10 energy points. 7 Kill Saber Technique upgraded to small achievement 1%. At the moment when the 7 Kill Saber Technique achieved a small accomplishment, an even stronger cold and chilling force invaded him once more. It took a dozen breaths for his body to gradually adapt. Following that, bits of information continually appeared in Lu Yun's mind, absorbed and digested by him. How to efficiently mobilize killing intent, how to reduce the harm of killing intent to oneself, how to use killing intent to deter others, and even how to regulate true qi and killing intent, and so on. This information, like nutrients, was continuously absorbed and digested by Lu Yun, eventually becoming part of his flesh, blood, and bones. Phew! At some point, Lu Yun slowly opened his eyes, exhaling like an arrow. With a thought, an icy cold and chilling aura appeared, and compared to the previous one, the killing intent had now become far stronger. It could be seen to solidify, and the moment it appeared, it almost froze the surrounding air into ice, although it was not quite as strong as his pure yang aura. However, pure yang aura belonged to the extreme yang and rigidity, whereas killing intent was cold. The effect of killing intent was not only to be cold, but its primary function was to deter others' will, mentally attacking them and causing them to lose their fighting spirit. Moreover, after cultivating the 7 kill saber technique, killing intent could accumulate continuously. Killing intent would be nourished by killing and fighting, and the more lives one took, the more killing intent would accumulate, increasing one's strength. Lu Yun got up and picked up the newly acquired saber. With a thought, a faint red killing intent protected the blade, making the icy cold blade even colder. Even the blade's color was transformed into a faint red hue due to the faint killing intent in the blink of an eye. Good heavens! Lu Yun secretly praised in his heart. This killing intent could transform in such a way, and it was only a small accomplishment levels killing intent, far more powerful than he had imagined. However, the pain just now was truly unbearable. If it weren't for the upgraded memory, which also contained information on how to control and use the killing intent, I might not be standing here so comfortably. With the energy value upgrade, I can accumulate killing intent without killing. This cultivation process really feels like cheating. However, it's better this way. I don't have to work too hard. Upgrading the 7 kill saber technique from pre-entry to small achievement consumed a similar amount of energy value as the pure yang aura, which surprised Lu Yun. Seeing the remaining 133 energy points, Lu Yun didn't hesitate and started the second round of upgrades.